little bit of a breeze and possible showers, and that's usually more than a possibility. Lindy Infante, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. And of course, Jimmy Johnson, also in his second year, the head man for the Miami Dolphins. The Colts have won the toss. They've elected to receive, and so we're set to go. Aaron Bailey is the deep back to return the kickoff. Olindo Made kicks it away, and it's fielded at the 3-yard line. Up to the 15, the 20, straight shot up the middle. Pretty good return, just shy of the 25, in that neighborhood, as the Colts will go to work. 21 yards on the return, and Jim Harbaugh, the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, he says he wants to play until he has gray hair, and that's that offensive line.
We mentioned Tariq Glenn with just 8 practices in the second half of 1 preseason game. Here's the running backs and receivers. Jim Harbaugh said we got to get Marshall Faulk more involved. A couple of early 100-yard rushing performances that will help the team. Aaron Bailey, the extra receiver in the 3 and 4 wide offense.
All right, Colts go to work at their own 25-yard line, first down. And they open up with a double tight end set, 1 running back. And jumping to the outside is Marshall Faulk. He was shut down inside, and he finds some yardage to about the 30-yard line. Now let's look at the defense of the Miami Dolphins. And here's that front 4. How good are they?
Actually, I think this is an excellent front 4, even with the rookie Jason Taylor in there. Big, strong, tough bunch.
All right. And their linebackers in secondary.
They move Hollier inside to replace Zach Thomas with the broken leg. The extra DBs come in, and Miami will use the 6 DBs quite a bit.
And there is Zach,
the one with the hat on.
Second down and 5. Ball game just underway, opening drive. Marshall Faulk to this side, close to the first down. They may mark him shy of the 35-yard line. Darrell Gardner was there to bring him down. They wanted to establish the running game, and that's exactly what they're doing.
And of course, last year, that sprained toe that Marshall Faulk had, he told us last night when we talked to him, that thing did not heal until the beginning of training camp. After the season was over, he had the worst kind of injury I think a professional football player can have. The doctor said, go out and do what you can do. So then it's all on your shoulders. But he finally feels completely recovered and has got the strength back, and he can practice all week long. So he should be a bigger factor in this Colts offense.
Third down, as you saw, just about a foot, a little bit more than that for the first down, and Harbaugh is just going to try and sneak for it, and may not have done it. He may not have made it. It's going to be close. Let's see what kind of a mark that he gets from the head linesman. Jason Taylor was there to cover him immediately. Did he make it? It is a first down. But he made it exciting with the first down, didn't he?
He didn't make it by much.
So first down of the ball game, converting on a third down and very short opportunity.
You got to admire Lindy Infante with all the injuries this team had last year and the way they're starting this year with injuries. They still perform. They just overlook the injuries and keep grinding.
Marshall Faulk, the remaining back. Marcus Pollard, the second tight end, is motion. He leads away. Has a lead block, has the corner, and 10+ yards. And that was Tony Mandarich, who was the pulling tackle that led him around the corner, a gain of 14 before Corey Harris could bring him down.
We mentioned the injuries last year. Colts used the most starters, tied with Baltimore. I mean, we had them last year in a game where they lost 8 starters, but this is a good sign for the Colts to begin this game. The Miami Dolphins wanted to stop the run, be better against the run. Colts come out dedicated to the run. 1, to keep pressure and people away from Jim Harbaugh. 2, some control of the line of scrimmage.
Mark it for 11 to the 46. It's the first down. And on the draw here is Faulk out to the 48. So a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. Derek Rogers, the rookie from Arizona State, is the man who made the tackle, the linebacker on the right side.
Charlie, you remember George Hill told us yesterday, he's the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. He said, you know, the draw hurt us and hurt us bad last year. So they were kind of setting up their defense to stop the draw. Rogers, the rookie, Jimmy Johnson has no problems putting rookies out there in the starting lineup. He started 4 last year. He starts 2 this year. If they can play and make plays, they're in a lineup.
Harbaugh has not thrown as yet. This is second and 8. Three-step drop. He's right on target, and he has got the first down as he goes to Sean Dawkins. He comes out firing. Jason Taylor, the man they're picking on. He did pick up 8, and that should be enough for the first down at the 43-yard line of Miami.
But we saw Marshall Faulk on the sideline just catching a breather and a good play-action fake. There's Faulk just catching his breath a little bit. It is hot and humid down here, and you can't expect one guy to play every down of this entire game. But that play action worked well because they've run the ball so well here in the early stages.
And it's a first down. Harbaugh, good protection, throws back underneath the coverage. The pass is complete to Lamont Warren with a couple of nifty moves as he picks up the first down. So he converts on first down. Nice play. Dwight Hollier with the tackle, a gain of 14.
Again, very conservative offensive call here by the Indianapolis Colts. Still not sure about the pass protection, but here it looks darn good. You got a nice pocket there. Harbaugh finds the man underneath Lamont Warren, an excellent receiver. And he's the guy who will share the duties with Marshall Faulk in the Colts backfield. Nice first drive here for the Colts.
And Faulk is back in as the single back. 4.5 minutes time of the drive. Here is Faulk. Spinning at the line of scrimmage inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Trace Armstrong with the tackle. This is an impressive opening drive by the Colts.
And it's got to drive Jimmy Johnson nuts because his theory of football is very simple. You win by running the ball and stopping the run. And in the preseason, the Miami Dolphins couldn't stop the run. Kind of felt like they played some very good running teams in the preseason. It would be all right in the opening game. But this first drive, Colts have found some weakness in that front four.
And Marshall Faulk already has rushed for 28 yards. As Bob mentioned, they want to get him 100 yards today. A couple 100-yard games up early. This time he's going to lose a couple. Trace Armstrong, defensive left end, was there. They've been running at that side. And this time Trace puts the blocks down. Lamont Warren will come into that offensive set. 3rd down and 5. This is the 10th play of the drive, 6 in the secondary for Miami.
And most of them have been out of the double tight end formation. This is a different formation, the shotgun.
And they show the shotgun for the first time. Harbaugh with 2 backs in for help. Spins away, being chased. And he throws it away. He was avoiding the loss. Once he gets outside of the protection, once he gets outside of the tackle, then he can dump it off like that. It was Jason Taylor, the rookie. We talked to him yesterday. Nice play.
This kid's amazing. He gets inside Meadows, throws him away. A great athlete, weighs less than 240 pounds, has got that great speed, still learning how to play defensive end, but has the great leverage.
Still learning where the locker room is.
Yes.
You saw him outside the stadium.
I made fun of Jason this morning because he walked in where our truck is as opposed to where the locker room is. At rookies show that they're rookies every week. But he almost found the quarterback there.
Yes, he did. 43-yard field goal attempt is no good. Gary Blanchard from 43 yards away. And the opening drive does not put any points on the board. As we take another look off of the skin part of the infield, it is high, wobbly. Back in a moment.
Let's go back to the situation of Prohibition. Prohibition was an extremely difficult period for the Bush family. That period almost broke the company. Grandfather had a couple of choices. So he went into the yeast business, he went into the soft drink business, he went into the making of carriages, he went into the making of cabinets. When Prohibition finally came to an end, my father wanted to do something for his father. He did so by presenting him with an 8-horse hitch, the Clydesdales. The Clydesdales were taken down Pennsylvania Avenue, where the first case of beer was delivered to then-President Roosevelt. The Clydesdales today are a symbol of that quality, of that tradition, of that excellence that is the hallmark of Budweiser, that is the hallmark of Anheuser-Busch.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Aged for a crisp, clean, classic taste. By Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. by Staples, the office superstore, and by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Let's take another look at that field goal attempt.
Blanchard has been so accurate. That's a good snap. I think this is a product of just kicking on the skinned infield here with the Florida Marlins play, and it just didn't look like he was real sure of his footing. Blanchard, a Pro Bowl kicker from last year, he's mad at himself. He doesn't miss very often, and that was for him a chip shot.
Yeah, and you saw Harbaugh's reaction. Side note, Bradford Banta, who normally does the snapping, is not snapping. We're trying to see who that was, and we couldn't pick it up. But Miami now goes to work for the first time. We have a scoreless ball game. There's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over the left side. He's going to pick up 2 to the 35. And Quinton Coriat with the tackle as we look at first that offensive line of Miami.
Pretty good for pass protection. Jimmy wants better run blocking out of this bunch.
Backs and receivers.
Abdul-Jabbar had a great season last year, but about a 3.4 yard carry per average carry. They want better than that.
They go to 4 wide. Parmalee comes in. Manning and Jordan are the extra wide receivers. Marino to throw. And back a little gingerly as you would expect him to. And he completes the pass to Troy Drayton, the tight end. Drayton rolls down the sideline to the 36-yard line of the Colts before Jason Belzer can get him.
Someone dropped the coverage. Drayton is right here. He's going to run the crossing pattern. Stephen Grant, the new middle linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, you see nobody picks him up. Marino, throughout his career, has been able to do one thing, if nothing else, find an open receiver. And if you don't cover a big tight end that size, somebody's got some problems. He's almost 270 pounds, Drayton is.
32 yards on the play to the Colt 36-yard line. First down, Miami. Their first opportunity in offense. No score in the ball game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is stopped by Quinton Coriat. So mark it to the 33-yard line. It'll be second down and 7. Indianapolis front 4.
This is a stout bunch. They got Ellis Johnson in at defensive tackle probably forever. This is a tough bunch to run on. The linebackers and defensive backs are still learning who the other guy is standing next to him. These guys have almost all been changed.
And the dime Mathis and McElroy come in. Second down and 7. Let's see what's on the left side. Quick opener again. Abdul-Jabbar. He'll get there in a hurry. Tony Bennett with the tackle.
He set the Miami Dolphins record last year. You see the carries, 307, and the 1,116 yards and 11 touchdowns. Very impressive, especially when you consider he began the year last year with a couple of sprained ankles that Jimmy Johnson wasn't sure he was going to contribute last year at all.
Third down and 2. Jumping to the far side, has the opening, has the corner, 10-yard line, and is out of bounds at about the 6. 22 yards. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You see the offensive line up here, the Miami Dolphins, they do a good job of just pushing and staying on the defensive linemen. And then, Charlie, you constantly hear Jimmy Johnson preach speed. The speed and quickness of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, hole is closed. There's no help over there for him, but he still has the ability with that speed and quickness to get out on the other side. That's a fair job done by the offensive line, a great job done by the running back.
6-yard line, first down, goal to go. Here's what they have been doing inside the 20, as you saw on the graphic. They're not going to do very much here. Abdul-Jabbar is not. Jimmy Johnson told us yesterday you have to run the ball for 3 things. One, and this is one of them, you've got to run it inside the 20.
Right. You got to run it inside the 20. You got to run it in short yardage. And you must run it at the end of the game to protect the lead. Right. And he has forced this football team to run the ball. I mean, he doesn't care if Dan Marino will only throw it once during the day. That's fine, as long as they have 25 to 30 to 35 rushes.
He said he'd really like to have him throw it about 25 to 30 times.
That's the way Bob.
That's not a lot.
That's the way Bob Greasy and the Miami Dolphins used to play football. Throw little, run a lot.
Second down, goal to go, and win.
Oh, did they win?
Good protection. Marino throws it away. Everybody was covered. Timing pattern. He had a fade into the corner, and it was picked up.
communication there between Dan Marino and Fred Barnett. Jabbar coming off, Abdul-Jabbar coming off, and the three wide receiver set. This has always been, even going back to the Shula era, going all the way back to Mercury Morris and Jim Kick, one of the great packages I have ever seen in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins third down package.
Shotgun, three receivers right side, one on the left. Fired, tipped, incomplete.
That was intended for O.J. McDuffie. Excellent, excellent coverage. Zoned by the Colts down in the end zone. You're going to see McDuffie just release right out here. Marino is waiting on him. There was a man inside and a man outside on McDuffie. He couldn't make the catch cleanly. It would not have been for the touchdown. So a good stop by the Colts.
They're going to mark it at the 14, a field goal attempt of 24 yards. This is for the lead. Little bit of a low snap, but it is up and it is through. Olindo Made gives the Dolphins a 3-point lead.
Eileen, she's been good to us. I reckon it's time I go into town and get us a new vehicle.
All right.
Someone else and not for me. Look at me!
That's the way
Disappointed. Hey!
Leland? What has gotten into you?
I don't know, but I like it.
I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
This is the NFL on NBC.
This fall on NBC, Jenny McCarthy's moving into the Sunday neighborhood with her new comedy, Jenny. Well, we look forward to that.
Then she has sisters who are twins that tried out for the WNBA.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Very
I
athletic
know because
family.
you told me that yesterday.
Yeah, the twins didn't make it. Obviously, Jenny has.
Yes.
Sunday night.
Yes. What looked like we would have an exchange of field goals in a tie ball game didn't turn out that way because Gary Blanchard missed from 43 yards away off of the skin part of the infield. And Olindo Made of the Dolphins hit from 24 yards out, and the Dolphins are up by 3. Aaron Bailey is the return man. Second opportunity in the ball game for the Colts to move on offense. This one will scoot through the end zone for the touchbacks, who will bring it out to the 20-yard line, where we will start in just a moment. 4:57. That is the time remaining. We're in the first quarter, and the Dolphins are up by 3.
American Express Small Business Services. How can I help you?
How can I help you?
Right. We only work with small businesses.
Why don't we start with your cash flow?
And our equipment financing plan will help spread out the payments.
That'll definitely give you more flexibility.
How about setting up a line of credit?
We can do that.
Then I'll put you in touch with one of our CPAs so you can start getting ready for tax time.
That's not a problem.
We can always make adjustments when your situation changes.
Call to find out how American Express Small Business Services can help you do more.
Remember, Mr. Pearson, once you enter the Witness Protection Program, you'll disappear. Here's your new passport, driver's license, and keys. New house, new car. Mr. Simons.
Happy trails to you until
Nice car.
again. Yeah. Happy trails to you.
He's not going to make it, is he?
Next Saturday, Notre Dame quarterback Ron Paulus leads new coach Bob Davies Fighting Irish against the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech. Next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern on NBC. Dateline Sunday, Princess Diana and her companion killed. They were driving in Paris with paparazzi in close pursuit. Are they to blame? The world mourns.
Dateline tonight
On NBC.
4 minutes, 57 seconds. That is the time remaining. We're in the first quarter here in Miami on a very warm, muggy afternoon. We've had a little bit of a rain already, and we expect some more.
What the Colts did in their opening drive, Falk 6 rushes, 29 yards, I think is the most impressive part, the most important part to the Colts. Ball possession, take pressure up the young offensive line. And of course, we're going to keep track of Adam Meadows, the left tackle, and Tariq Glenn, the right guard, throughout this game. One, how will they hold up conditioning-wise with Tariq Glenn just 8 practices?
And weighing in at about 346. That's right, 346. Over the middle in coverage. Pass is complete. And a struggling reception by Ken Dilger. Dwight Hollier with the tackle.
Now, again, the popular formation here early for the Colts is continuing to be the double tight end set.
What does a double tight end set give them?
One, it evens up the defense. That is, you're going to have a guard covered, an offensive guard covered, an offensive tackle covered, and 2, you're going to square up the coverage. So everybody on that offensive line knows where everybody in that defensive line is going to be. So everybody's got a man right in front of them except the center.
Marshall Faulk squirts through for the first down.
Charlie, the one thing I can tell you about Lindy Infante and my knowledge of his offense is one of the few offenses where, 1, young kids can pick it up quickly, but 2, I don't care what you do defensively, he's got something to counter it. It is absolutely remarkable how many adjustments Lindy Infante's offense can make almost on the fly.
As you see on the ticker, Tennessee leading Oakland by 3. New England with the early score over San Diego. Arizona with the early score in that ball game. New Orleans leading St. Louis 3-0 as Marshall Faulk is pulled down by Jason Taylor. Taylor continues to be impressive.
Yeah, you're going to see him right here. He bites off the block by the tight end Dilger. Gets inside him, just throws him in and sticks his arm out and just grabs a hold of the shoulder pad. Now, this is a young man that Jerry Faust recruited to Akron. Went to Akron at 16 years old. He was homeschooled. He said, when I came out of high school, I was 6'6", 174. Not many people wanted me for football except for Jerry Faust, and I kind of liked him.
Second down and 11. Harbaugh to throw. And this one will be incomplete. It will be 3rd down and 11.
Well, we've complimented Jason Taylor here a little bit, but he's on a rookie. And that's one of the guys we want to feature. Here's the matchup right here, rookie on rookie. And Adam Meadows really thought when he was drafted by the Colts he would be a guard, but because Tariq Glenn came in so late, they moved Meadows out to tackle, and frankly, he's done a pretty good job. That 290 is comfortable out there.
3rd down. From the shotgun, and the crowd getting involved in the ball game here in Miami. Here comes the blitz. Picked up over the middle. First down. Nice play. Good read of the blitz. Lamont Warren again comes in, and he has the reception 18 yards before Wooden can bring him down, converting on 3rd down and 11.
Watch this block right here. Is this Lamont? This is Lamont. This is here. Let me get the right guy. There is Marshall Faulk. Watch the block right there. Comes across, known as a pass receiver and a running back. Does an excellent job picking up the blitz. And when the blitz is picked up, here you're going to see him kind of come across here. Does an excellent job picking up that extra guy. And Lamont Warren right down the middle of that defense makes the reception. Another one of those little gimmick plays that Lindy has in his offense.
At the Miami 49-yard line. First flags of the ball game coming with 2:05 left to go in the first quarter. And Adam Meadows may have a false start.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 73, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The first of many, I think, for Mr. Meadows in his NFL career. That happens, you know. The defensive end gives you a big move like he's coming across there. Yeah, you want to protect the quarterback. You'll take 5 yards.
Meadows, 6'5", 290-pound rookie, taken in the second round. Now, he has been in training camp for the whole training camp and has done an outstanding job. They're very high on it. This one is tipped. It is incomplete. Mount Warren, the intended receiver.
Looked like it was one of the big defensive tackles.
I believe it was Baron Tanner that got it.
See if we can pick out who it is. Decent job by Tarek Glenn at the line of scrimmage, number 78. Who gets their hand up? Yeah, the guy that Glenn is blocking he is lucky, gets his hand up, knocks the ball away. That's just, it was Tanner who got his hand up, but that was good pass protection by Tarek Glenn.
He's a rookie from Oklahoma. All right.
Rookies everywhere in the league now.
2nd and 15.
Put him in there.
Line.
Put him in there. We're going to pay him. Make him play.
They're paying them well and they're playing well. Here comes pressure. He throws it away. Zach Crockett was the closest receiver. He really was intended. It was Trace Armstrong who was right in the face of Jim Harbaugh.
Armstrong up here. He gets around Tony Mandarich. And, of course, when Mandarich was at Green Bay, Trace Armstrong at Chicago, they faced each other a few times. Armstrong goes gentle on his former teammate Jim Harbaugh of the Chicago Bears. Incomplete pass. And 3rd and long is the one thing that Harbaugh and Lindy Infante wanted to avoid today. This puts pressure on those rookie offensive linemen.
But when they've thrown, they have thrown over the middle on 3rd down and long. Quarterback draw. And he's got it. The quarterback draw by Jim Harbaugh. And he had it all the way. Had the opening to the right side. And he's going to be needed 15. Guess what? He gets about 19 yards and the first down. Here it is.
Jimmy is complaining that Meadows came out of his stance too early. There was no flag thrown, but Harbaugh has always been one of the great playmakers. And he includes scrambling in his bag of tricks. Jimmy has every reason to complain. The left tackle, Meadows, did break out. Jimmy's still yelling, but it results in a big pickup and a first down.
At the 36-yard line of Miami. Miami up 3-0 as we're winding down the first quarter. Marshall Falk tries the left side. We'll try New York, and Greg Gumbel for an update.
All right, Charlie, and we'll take you to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Drew Bledsoe, 27 touchdown passes last season. Here's his first of 97, a 4-yarder. Ben Coates at the back of the end zone with the extra point. The San Diego Chargers fall behind New England 7-0. Let's go back to Charlie in Miami.
And the score here, thanks for the update. The score here in Miami, they're up by a score of 3-0. This is the 10th play of the drive. This is the second offensive drive of the ball game by the Colts. The first one, here's the reverse.
Oh, fumble.
And out fumble, and it is loose, and it is recovered by Harbaugh. Oh, my goodness. It was there for the taking. And Harbaugh reached out and took it, and he saves it for the Colts.
Charlie, I could not see what happened, but again, number 99, Jason Taylor, was a part of the equation.
Yeah, he was right in the middle of it.
Yeah, you're going to see Taylor come in here, and when the ball is handed off, Marvin Harrison just drops it. Unless Marvin Harrison was trying to hand the ball back to Harbaugh. No way.
No, Harbaugh, pretty good block. Into the quarter, back in a moment.
Hey, Wayne, where'd you get the slick tailgate coffee table?
I made it, Tom. I welded some legs on an old tailgate.
Man, we should sell these babies. We could be millionaires.
Wayne and Tom do not need to play the Coca-Cola NFL Red Zone. They have no need for big screen TVs or free trips to Super Bowl 32. They invented Tailgate Coffee Table. You did not. So unless you have an idea as good as Tailgate Coffee Table, play the Coca-Cola NFL Red Zone.
Welcome to the Nissan store. Today's topic, big deals and bigger deals. Looking for a big deal on a new car or truck? Nissan is offering $2,000 customer cash. Looking for a bigger deal? How about 2.9% APR for 60 months? Right now, on every 97 Sentra, 200SX, and Nissan truck, you'll get customer cash or a great APR. That's a big deal. And big is good. For a limited time only at your local Nissan store.
All right, we're back. Let's see exactly what happened. We're still not sure.
It looks like Harrison never really got the ball cleanly from Marshall Falk. It bounces off his shoulder pads. Jason Taylor is there. The ball on the ground. Harbaugh makes a block, and the recovery of the fumble.
You know, Harbaugh's blocking there. Yeah, I thought for a moment it might be a delayed reverse flea flicker.
Yeah, or something like that, because it bounced right off of Marvin Harrison. But that play was ugly.
Yes.
We'll put that in the ugly category.
That's right. All right, we start the second quarter. Miami up over Indianapolis by a score of 3-0. And the Colts once again facing that long third down situation. They have converted on 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15. Now they face 3rd down and 14. As you can check out the ticker, New England now up over San Diego 13-0. Whoa. They're making a statement early, aren't they?
New England is a very, very good football team.
Yeah, we had them in preseason. You said offensively they may be the best.
Absolutely.
3rd down and 14 from the shotgun. Pressure from the outside. Harbaugh throws underneath the coverage. This is Marshall Faulk. Faulk dips and dives, and it'll be close, but I think he's going to come a couple of yards shy of the first down. Terrell Buckley finally stopped him. Remember, he needed 14. He got around 12, possibly 13, but not enough.
The thing I like most about Marshall Faulk is he's willing to be a receiver. He's willing to be a blocker. He's willing to be a running back. We're going to have another field goal attempt. And the Colts try to get him out with some space as many times as possible to break a tackle.
Remember what he told us yesterday? He says the big picture is to win, and if you win, you got to beat the President of the United States.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to see Blanchard on grass. I'll bet he's a lot better kicker here.
From 45 yards away.
Whoops.
And it is to the right, and it stays to the right from 45 yards away. So Blanchard has missed from 43 going to the left. And he has missed from 45 going to the right. Miami continues to lead by 3.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It's that time of year again. They're going back. It's back to school time at Staples. Over 7,000 supplies at guaranteed low prices.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
Right back after these messages.
You've heard of Nike Air. Now there's Zoom Air, the thinnest, most responsive Nike Air cushioning ever, which means you run faster, just as Jerry Rice and Barry Sanders.
Zoom Air helps me to accelerate. Zoom Air helps me make sharper cuts.
So try Nike football shoes with Zoom Air. Who knows, maybe you can keep up with these guys.
Joe?
Okay, class, rules of driving. Norman.
Observe the speed limit, stay 2 car lengths behind, and always pass on the left.
Wrong answer.
There are driving schools, and there are driving schools. At the Russell Racing School in Sonoma, California, you only fail if you get passed. But don't forget your Visa card, because you won't move an inch using American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
We're in the second quarter. Miami leads Indianapolis by a score of 3-0. The Colts have missed on 2 field goal attempts. The best way to follow the 1997 NFL season is to go online with NBCSports.com. Bob Trumpy will give us the 5 key things to look for in this weekend's game. A vote of our weekly poll. This week we asked, which team do you think will have the most improved season? Good question. It's all on NBCSports.com. Your 5 keys, huh?
Yes. Things I'm looking for.
Can I go online during halftime and find out?
Sure you can.
It is high and behind. It is incomplete. Troy Drayton, the intended receiver, as we go to... Whoa. Now, here's Kerry Blanchard. He has missed twice already this year. He's 0 for 2, and last year he was awesome, wasn't he?
36 of 40, made the Pro Bowl. He does have a new snapper, and kickers can be a little persnickety, you know. And the 0 for 2 is not a good start for the last year's Pro Bowl kicker.
Reno from the shotgun, and this one is intercepted. The Colts could well take the lead on the interception. It is Elijah Alexander. He picked it off at the 43-yard line, and he goes in for the score. Whoa, what a turn of events.
There was nothing sophisticated about this defense. I haven't the slightest idea what Dan Marino saw. He's looking down the field. This is straight zone. He just, he did not see Elijah Alexander at all. O.J. McDuffie, the intended receiver. An easy pick and a touchdown for the Indianapolis Colts. And Dan, with in his 15th year, he doesn't make tackles after interceptions.
And so the Colts now have taken the lead by a score of 6-3 with the extra point to come.
Will be assessed on the kickoff.
Penalty against the Colts, as you heard, will be assessed on the kickoff. Excessive celebration, I believe. I didn't pick it all up. Is that what it was?
Did someone take their helmet off? That's a no-no now in the league. It's funny, you can take your helmet off in a fight, and there's no penalty.
No, you're right. You got the call. It was for taking a helmet off. And the extra point is good. And the Colts are up 7-3. Back with the kickoff.
Nelson reunion?
Presenting a new family of cars for 1997 from a new era at Mitsubishi.
Nelson family.
A wide range of rugged sport utility vehicles.
The Nelson?
Straight ahead.
Red-hot sports cars and refined new sedans. Great new cars for everyone, because no two people are...
Nelson reunion?
Exactly alike. The new family of cars from Mitsubishi, built for living.
Dear Dave, we were coming home from the track the other day and saw Wendy's Smoky Bacon Cheeseburger was back, so I bought a bunch of them for the boys. Man, was it delicious. 3 strips of hickory smoked bacon, smoked cheddar, savory sauce, and sauteed onions. And they made them fresh when I ordered them, so they were hot and juicy. Stop by sometime and I'll show you the new car. Your buddy, Dale Jarrett.
Dear Dale, that'd be great. I'd love to take it for a spin.
He's kidding, right?
Come into Wendy's and try our Smoky Bacon Cheeseburger today.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light to remind you the 3 most important words are hey, beer, man. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. By the full line of U-97 vehicles from Mitsubishi, built for living. And by AT&T, it's all within your reach.
There is Stephen Grant, number 59, and he was nailed with one of those new penalties, and that is taking his helmet off as part of the celebration. And that means that rather than kicking from the 30-yard line, the Colts will be kicking from their own 15-yard line, which in turn means that Miami could come up with excellent field position.
And Dan Marino's got to be thinking, what in the world
yes,
made me throw the ball out there? There was nothing special about that coverage. You see the assistant coaches looking at it. And Elijah Alexander was just, that was an early Christmas gift.
Irving Spikes and Qadri Ismail are the return men for the Miami Dolphins. Jimmy Johnson told us he wasn't sure or not yesterday if Ismail would be playing today, but it obviously is. And he said if he does play, he may also get in as a wide receiver. He picks this one up at the 24 and now out to the 35, 40. Could return to about the 45-yard line. So 20 yards on the return. And Miami will go to work following the tackle by Monty Montgomery of the Colts. Next Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Time, Bob Trumpy and I will be in South Bend. Notre Dame football returns to NBC. I'm really looking forward to that. The new stadium. Ron Paulus, the Fighting Irish, take on Georgia Tech in the season opener as a new era of Golden Dome football begins. That's Notre Dame football next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern Time here on NBC.
Always nice to be in South Bend.
Isn't it great? Oh, I love to go there. And Miami now starts from their own 45-yard line, trailing in the ballgame by a score of 7-3. There's nothing there for Jabbar. A couple of yards off the left side out to the 47-yard line, 2nd down and 8. Time of possession. Miami only really added on that one long drive.
Yeah, that one drive
led to the field goal.
Indianapolis has had a couple of drives of 10 plays or more. No offensive points, only points on the interception return. And Jabbar, 6 carries, 34 yards. That's still making the point.
And Marino 1 of 5, is that right? To the 50-yard line is Abdul Jabbar again.
Yeah, his only completion was to Troy Drayton, the tight end who was totally uncovered. But
on that big play down the left side.
Yeah, this stadium now very quiet after that interception thrown by Dan Marino.
Bernie Parmalee comes into that offensive set. They'll go with 4 wide. He's the third down back, 3rd down and 5. We'll check out the ticker, see what's going on. New England still leading San Diego by a score of 14-0. They'll love that New England. Hate that on the West Coast. Dallas and Pittsburgh are scoreless. Marino drills this one, and he is on target for the first down. There was no question about that one. He was really firing to Fred Barnett. He was stopped by Diedrich Mathis.
Barnett healthy this preseason. Wants to earn the confidence of Dan Marino to become his favorite receiver. Barnett's still a guy with great speed, even though he's had 2 ACL reconstructions on the same leg, and then also some cleaning out of debris, as they now call it.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, right in front of Diedrich Matthews. A good stop there on the skinned infield for the first down.
They changed the run from the left to the right side as Pritchard moves over as the blocker. Abdul-Jabbar the ball carrier. Is that Irving Spikes? All right, it's Spikes. Carlton Gray with the tackle.
That's one of the luxuries that the Miami Dolphins have. They have several running backs that they can put in there. Abdul-Jabbar gets a rest. Spikes goes in. Parmalee the receiver. So Jimmy Johnson uses him in a lot of different ways.
Second down and 8. Marino, just a quick drop and then a swing to the right side to Irving Spikes. Spikes goes out near the first down marker. Elijah Alexander was there for the Colts.
You see both running backs. Stanley Pritchett's going to swing out in the flat and get a block for Spikes. There's the block. Just kind of gets in the way of Elijah Alexander, number 50. Enough for the well,
no, not
enough for the first down.
Be third down and a yard.
Short.
Yeah. Dwayne Dotson joins Irving Spikes in the backfield. About half a yard. And over the top is Spike. He is met, but his forward momentum will carry him for the first down as Stephen Grant goes up to bring him down as we go to New York for an update.
All right, Charlie, and we'll take you to Memphis where the 38-yard touchdown. Oilers lead the Raiders 10-0 second quarter. Charlie?
Raiders are going to struggle. I saw them in preseason, and they were not impressive at all.
So much for Jeff George and his magic.
Yes, yes. All right, here's the magic of Irving Spikes. Left side, a helmet comes rolling away. Quentin Coriat with the tackle.
Belser loses his helmet. There's no penalty for losing your helmet.
Right.
When somebody else tears it off, it's not a penalty. When you take it off to celebrate it, then it's a penalty.
It's interesting when you think about that, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm telling you again.
It's just a straight statement, yeah.
Yeah, if you get in a fight out there and you take your helmet off, there's no penalty. I mean, it's not very smart, but there's no penalty.
You know, they figure if you're not smart enough to leave your helmet on in a fight,
yeah, maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it. You should know better. All right, second down and 9. The Colts lead in the ball game 7-3, courtesy of the interception and return for the touchdown by Elijah Alexander. Abdul-Jabbar on the receiving end this time, and he is stopped by Quentin Coriat. Dan Footman also had a piece of the action.
Well, this is the one thing that I do believe Miami wants out of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He carried the ball so much last year, but Parmalee is the receiving running back, and if they can utilize Abdul-Jabbar as a receiver, he'll never leave the field. Be more of a threat. You don't have to come up with a special offensive package.
First down at the 20-yard line. Marino moving people around. Quick drop, bit of a wobbly pass, but is caught inside the 10-yard line. Is Fred Barnett who has it.
Now there's the experience of Dan Marino. He's faced the Colts so many times. He recognizes a change in their defensive formation. You see the look of the blitz, and he audibles, changes personnel around, runs the quick slant, hits the veteran Fred Barnett, I mean, that's making up stuff on the fly. That's what you expect a veteran quarterback and receiver to adjust to and accomplish.
8-yard line, first down goal to go. Stanley Pritchett is the fullback. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the tailback in this set. And it's Jabbar has the opening to the 5, heads for the corner, and he kicks his way into the end zone. So a high-stepping touchdown for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Charlie, that was a very big alley for Abdul-Jabbar to run through there.
And remember now, this drive started at the Miami 45 following the kickoff and the loss of the 15 yards on the penalty for taking the helmet off. Very costly penalty.
Yeah, little things do add up.
Oh, they do.
Celebrate on your bench, not on the field.
55 yards on the drive. Mate with the extra point. And it is good. And the Dolphins regain the lead, 10-7. Back with the kickoff.
I thought quarterbacks were the smart ones.
That's right.
Ooh, he hasn't shaved.
But it hurts.
Another foam shaver. Hey, he didn't know about Edge Pro Gel.
New Edge, Reg?
This is New Edge Pro Gel, and it's a moisturizing formula, so it protects better than the foam.
It doesn't hurt.
Would I let you get hurt?
New Edge Pro Gel. Save your skin.
All right, and now he is beautiful, just like me. Hey, that's great. But who are the chefs?
Not going anywhere for a while?
Great googly moogly.
Grab a Snickers.
You spell it.
Yeah.
I like being in control. With this new Dinerex, I control the cause of my dandruff every day.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula. Its medicine doesn't just treat the symptoms. It controls a leading cause of dandruff called Peel Valley.
Now that's serious control.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula.
Now, Jack, I'm not making any promises, but when you get your license, this car could be yours. But please, take it easy, because it has a lot of power, and it's quiet, so you don't have to crank up the music. But I'm not worried. I know you'll be a great driver. Just like your dad.
The reliable 1997 Mitsubishi Galant, Mirage and Diamante, the family of high-quality sedans from Mitsubishi, built for living.
Another men behaving badly dating tip. How to avoid the conceited man.
When are we going to go out?
Look, here's the deal. I don't go out with guys who I sense are totally into themselves.
I'm sorry. There's a handsome man in my spoon.
Men behaving badly. Then Jenny McCarthy this fall on NBC.
Number 33, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of UCLA and Dorsey High School in Los Angeles. In Miami has the lead as he scores the touchdown. 55 yards on the drive in 10 plays. Took almost 6 minutes. And the deep back is Aaron Bailey. Bailey moves up, takes it at the 9-yard line. He's out to the 20, the 25. Slips by a couple of special teams players for the Dolphins and a nice return to the 31-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Good down block by Drayton. Tackle pulls. Good lead by the fullback. But you're going to see a block come up, just kind of whiz by you on Elijah Alexander. But again, you see the lane that Abdul-Jabbar has going through there. You could escort the fullback right to the goal line. Now let's give credit for the big block. O.J. McDuffie puts his helmet right in the ear hole of Elijah Alexander, and the lane is open for the score.
And that is a legal block because he hit him in the colors above the waist.
Yes, not in the helmet.
30-yard line. Colts go to work. And jumping to the outside is Marshall Faulk. He's got about 3 yards on the play. First 2 possessions, 11 plays, missed field goal, 11 plays, missed field goal.
Yeah, you like the 22 plays in your first 2 chances, but the missed field goals from a Pro Bowl kicker will upset you a little bit. The other observation I must make here is Marshall Faulk looks great.
Oh, he does.
He looks healthy. He looks fresh. He's back to ducking and diving the way he used to 3-4 years ago.
Harbaugh throws. He has the first down right on target. Just needs to get the ball across the 40-yard line. He goes to Marvin Harrison. Sean Wooden with the tackle. New England now has stretched the lead to 17-0 over San Diego. Whoa. Dallas leading Pittsburgh 7-0. Giants in front of Philadelphia 7-3. Minnesota by 3 over Buffalo. They're in the second quarter, a little over 6 minutes to go. Tennessee continues to lead the Raiders by a score of 10-0. In Arizona in front of Cincinnati. And back to our ball game. Slipping a tackle is Marshall Faulk again. He tried to get him around the ankle, couldn't bring him down. And finally, Terrell Buckley gets him, but he's got almost 9 yards on the play as he continues to really run well, like you were talking about.
Yeah, and the Colts continue to go with, in the early downs, the 2 tight end set. They're trying to almost unbalance the line. That time they had both tight ends set side by side. They ran a sweep that way, but 4-3 or 4-4 rush, 11 carries, I think, is the most important thing for Marshall Faulk in the early stages here.
And it's 2nd down and 1. And here's Marshall again to the far side. Cuts back and has the first down as he picks up about 4 more before Derek Rogers makes the tackle.
Now, I do notice that one of the things that Marshall Faulk told us last night is that because he was hurt last year and couldn't practice much, he watched a lot of film. And he said one of the things he learned watching film was to be a lot more patient with the blocks. Let the offensive linemen make the blocks. And on Charlie, I've seen evidence of that about 4 or 5 times already in this first half. Just waiting for things to open up as opposed to forcing things.
All right, he takes a breather. Cliff Gross had come in with Zach Crockett. Harbaugh did not like what he sees. He turns around and calls for a timeout. So that stops the clock. 5:32 time remaining. We're in the first half, and Miami leads by 3. Back in a moment.
Mitsubishi Motors presents a page from the playbook. Against the St. Louis Rams, the Pittsburgh Steelers faced a 1st and 10 at midfield.
All right, guys, let's do slant 38-5.
Stay tuned to see how Pittsburgh took control of the game.
Nelson reunion?
Presenting a new family of cars for 1997 from a new era at Mitsubishi.
Nelson family.
A wide range of rugged sport utility vehicles.
The Nelson?
Straight ahead.
Red-hot sports cars and refined new sedans. Great new cars for everyone, because no 2 people are...
Nelson reunion?
Exactly alike. The new family of cars from Mitsubishi, built for living.
In Slant 38 Bob, Tim Lester's lead block and Justin Strelzik's seal block allowed Jerome Bettis to burst free on a 50-yard touchdown run en route to the Steelers' 42-6 win.
Wrangler jeans are the perfect jeans to wear when you're going out for a little seafood with your best buddy. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. Wrangler jeans, perfect when you're training your dog or when your dog is training you. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Coming up next, Game 2 of our season-opening NFL on NBC doubleheader. One of the NFL's fiercest rivalries is renewed. John Elway leads the Denver Broncos against Elvis Grbac and the Kansas City Chiefs. Or the Jets face the Seahawks. Or the Jaguars take on the Ravens. The NFL on NBC next.
And the second half of the doubleheader, we have 3 games across the country. The major one is the Kansas City-Denver game.
And Denver's pretty good, too.
Oh, they're very good, yes.
They are pretty good, too.
Yes. And on the draw, here's Lamont. Is that Lamont Warren or Zach Crockett? Give it to Crockett. Shane Burton with the tackle. Crockett, the fullback, normally doesn't carry that much out of Florida State.
And
he
Charlie,
does a pretty good job blocking.
Yeah, and that was the fullback draw that George Hill warned us and his team about. A little recap of Jim Harbaugh, 6 of 10. Faulk with 13 carries so far in the first half. Those are all great numbers. Forget the yards. Those are all great numbers. Just the attempts by Faulk and the 6 of 10 by Harbaugh.
2nd down and 5. Harbaugh to throw. Over the middle, and it is incomplete. Ken Dilger went up for it and couldn't come down with it. The toss was a little high, but that wasn't bad in that spot, was it? Because he had coverage floating all over him.
Yeah, it's not a tough catch. You would hope as a tight end that the quarterback hits you right down in the chest. He had to reach up for it, but this is very catchable. Actually, the contact by Rogers was perfectly timed. It would have been an excellent catch, but Dilger has good enough hands to 8 out of 10 times he'll make that catch.
Colts now with 4 wide receivers. 3rd down and 5. From the shotgun, we've got flags. We have movement on that offensive line. I believe it was Adam Meadows who came back too soon. Let's wait and see.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, number 73.
It was.
5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
He wanted to get a jump to get back in that pass protection. And second time he's been hit.
Yeah, this is the second time that Meadows has rocked out of his stance. They didn't call it the first time, and it was a big completion by the Colts. They catch him the second time. You take that chance, especially in a shotgun. You're in a 2-point stance. And there's Marvin Harrison running a pattern here. Ooh. Boy, came up, pulled something quickly. Marvin stayed on the field. It looked like he pulled a muscle. No contact whatsoever. He's at the bottom of the screen.
And going deep and incomplete, and nobody was there. Almost intercepted by George Teague. There wasn't anybody in the neighborhood. It would have been a nice punt, but that would have been it.
Sure, just throwing it away. Yeah. There was a nice blitz call there by the Dolphins. Marvin Harrison again.
Yeah. And he stumbled as he pulled away. Were you kind of watching?
Yes,
I was
yes.
too. Yeah.
Yes, I don't know what he pulled. There was no contact. We'll try to get a report from the sideline.
Here is Charles Jordan, the return man for the Miami Dolphins. Chris Gardocki will punt it. Pretty good snap. Pretty good kick. And it's going to be down. Nice punt. Down to inside the 2-yard line. 46 yards. Jason Belzer downs it. We'll be back in a moment.
For 27 years, I've been peanuts, see? So my pal Tony says, this Coors Light, they frost brew it, right? It's icy cold. So I says, I thought everyone drinks it because of all the peanuts I've tossed. See, I could hit a guy 8 rows up just by hearing the sound of his voice. It was my thing. But with Coors Light, I don't need a thing. Ow. Except maybe a towel. Coors Light! Coors Light!
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand-tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
Presenting the rugged Montero Sport.
Well, hold on to that sandwich, because one bounce and it's mine. Oh, wait, this SUV ride's too smooth. I'm gonna starve. Unless smooth ride, sleep.
The SUV with a surprisingly smooth ride.
Lunch is served.
The Montero Sport and Montero from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
Who's hanging out at Union Square? How about Jack Pappas?
He skipped charm school and opted for prison.
Just because I was in jail, that made me a bad guy. And Gandhi was in jail.
Not for stealing cars.
Could somebody help me with my zipper?
Union Square, coming to NBC Thursdays after Friends.
10-7 the score, and on that last pass attempt, the interception, Marvin Harrison comes up something badly, goes to the sideline, is addressed by the doctors. The Colts only have 4 receivers available today, so any injury to him is a major injury for the Colts.
And after the punt is down at the 1-yard line, Marino goes to work from his own end zone. And we have a flag come flying about 15 yards as he was trying to hit Fred Barnett on a deep up pattern up the right sideline. Carlton Gray had the coverage.
Gray bumped him.
Yep. Larry Nimmers is the referee, number 20. I guess he's the good guy because he has the white cap on.
Always.
Always. I think the question is it pass interference or is it holding?
Defensive pass interference. Number 26, first down.
So it'll be at the spot of the foul. They're going to mark it at about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, ball in the air results in pass interference. And Barnett still with blazing speed. And you're going to see the bump here. That's all it takes. Ball was in the air. And you don't have to determine whether it's catchable or not. Ball in the air.
Is that ticky-tack?
No, absolutely not. Gray took a chance, turned his back on the receiver, got bit.
First down at the 20-yard line. Little play action fake on first down, deep over the middle. This one is incomplete. Toss a little high to Troy Drayton. Drayton has become Marino's favorite target in this ball game. Robert Blackman had the coverage.
That is a tough completion to make. I think Dan Marino is mad at himself. You see the linebackers kind of fan out. He's trying to throw it over Stephen Grant, 59, and underneath the safety. That is a very tough throw to make. Yeah, and they almost get it done. Doggone it.
Yeah, he's upset at himself.
Yeah,
and he should be.
I wish it was 27.
We all do. Tailback Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Dan Marino because, you know, as you mentioned earlier, he is healthy from the waist up, but from the waist down, and he's got a special shoe, and he continues to limp, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's no question that.
Look at the shoe.
The thing on his right foot, that's where he had the Achilles problem, and he wears a special shoe. He can't get away from the center the way he used to, so you will see him in the shotgun a lot. It is his setup foot. That's where he gets the push off. But so much is expected of Dan Marino because he's accomplished so much during the years that anytime he doesn't look great, people determine it as awful.
Comes out firing on third down and 6. Pass is complete, but it's not going to be near enough. It's O.J. McDuffie who pulls it in. Robert Blackman with the tackle.
Now, he told us that he has to really concentrate on his feet, setting up properly. And you can see the way sometimes he doesn't really push off with that right ankle at all. That was just a little dump out, but good pressure by the Colts. He has to throw it away. Oh, they have to kick it away.
John Kidd will be kicking to number 86, Brian Stabline of the Colts. Colts at the 30-yard line. No breeze this afternoon. Pretty good kick. Doesn't turn over, but carries well. And a fair catch at the 30-yard line. 45 yards on the kick and no return. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader we talked about a moment ago. John Elway and the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Some of you to see the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, they can be tough against the Baltimore Ravens. The Seattle Seahawks, they're kind of lurking up in the Northwest, and people think they're going to be very good. They will be battling the New York Jets. So check your local listing for the game in your area. Speaking of Elway, class of 83.
Yeah, and
Marino, class of 83.
Isn't it amazing? Those two are the only two left.
Yeah.
And, they still haven't won a Super Bowl. Is John Kittle right now? He's holding his hamstring. He's the Dolphins punter.
Harbaugh, straight shot up the middle. He dives for the first down, disdains the slide. I think he was leery of sliding because of the infield, and that he wouldn't be. He picked up 12. That's enough for the first down, as we said. I think he didn't want to slide because he could hook himself, grab and hurt himself.
Yeah, maybe.
So he just dives for it.
I'm not sure, but the one thing you got to like about Harbaugh scrambling, he scrambles with his head up.
Yeah.
So he always keeps those defensive backs back. He's threatening to throw all the time.
Harbaugh, three-step drop, pass is complete. He goes very quickly to Marvin Harrison, who is back in the ball game. All right, 2-minute warning to both benches. We'll be back in a moment.
What would happen if when the quarterback threw a pass, there was nobody in the end zone to make the catch? We wouldn't win. It's the same for the United Way volunteers in your community. But what if there were no volunteers to feed the hungry or help a needy child? We wouldn't win. This year, you'll be seeing a new NFL United Way team. Together, we're building better communities.
The NFL, the United Way, and you.
The power of teamwork.
Welcome to Green Bay, Wisconsin. How many Packer fans we have out here?
I'm Anthony Schoenleber, and I give tours here at Lambeau Field.
Here it is, folks. Lambeau Field, also known as the frozen tundra.
There's no word to explain what it's like to walk on the grass or to feel the grass there. You know you're in Packer country right there. You have Brett Favre, who scores touchdowns, and Reggie White, who sacks the quarterback. This is it. This is the frozen tundra. This is where it all happens.
1:58, time remaining in the first half. Miami leading Indianapolis by a score of 10-7, the margin 3. Coming up at the half, join Greg Gumbel and company for the latest scores and highlights and a preview of the Kansas City-Denver game. That's coming up on the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Interesting first half, play-wise dominated by the Indianapolis Colts.
Absolutely. I think the people down here in South Florida thought the strength of the Miami Dolphins this year would be its defense. I don't think they expected the Indianapolis Colts to come down here in the first half and really dominate. Corey Blanchard has missed 2 field goals, but the Colts have run almost anything and everything they've wanted to run. And, of course, Jim Harbaugh on a couple of scrambles converting third downs.
And time of possession has to weigh heavily on the same side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colts to this point have run 28 offensive plays in this first half. I mean, that's impressive.
At the Miami 49-yard line, 2nd down and 2. Crockett changes side, and he gets it on a fullback draw and just bulls his way for the first down. Zach Crockett from Florida State. He's used to this heat. It doesn't bother him.
And the Colts offensive line doing a good job of pushing and shoving those people all over the place. I mean, Adam Meadows gets 2 blocks there, the rookie. No respect paid to this defensive line of the Miami Dolphins, and the fullback draw works again.
41-yard line, first down. Falk the remaining back. Harbaugh is in trouble. Throws to Falk, his outlet. And they're going to... No, it's Zach Crockett, I'm sorry. And Calvin Jackson was there.
Look at Harbaugh. Already dirty.
Yes, he takes a beating, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. A lot of it, I mean, he's such a competitor. He's not going to give up on any play. That time he turned his back to the pursuer and finds the receiver out in the flat. He just doesn't want to throw the ball away.
He is, Harbaugh is all decked out in black spats for this game, is he not?
Yeah, I noticed that. I wonder why that is. I'm sure kids around Indianapolis will be spatting up their shoes next weekend. Dad, go out and buy me some electrician's tape. Jim Harbaugh does it. I want to do it.
That's right.
In my generation, we were all trying to get white shoes for Joe Willie Namath, and now they're going back to black. Look at the time of possession here.
Whoa, almost 2-1. Harbaugh is sacked. Trace Armstrong got him. And the Dolphin front line finally beginning to put some pressure on the Colts.
Trace Armstrong right down here. Actually, there's good coverage down the field. Harbaugh's looking all over the place, but Trace gets around Tony Mandrich for the first sack of the day.
And it's 3rd down and 15. Harbaugh from the shotgun. Drops it off to Marshall Faulk on this side. He makes a nice move. He gets somebody in the open field, and you don't want to go head up with him, do you?
No.
You just hold him so ahead, wait for help.
Yeah, he just stops you dead in your tracks.
Yeah. Corey Harris finally got him.
I don't think they have any choice here but to punt. Ball at the 41 plus 17. 56 yards. So Gardocki will come in and punt.
Yeah, try and drop it inside the 10-yard line. Like they did before, same situation. Well, Harbaugh's come out. Wait, hold it.
He's come out. He's going to wait for a timeout here. Let the clock run down. There'll be 1 second left.
Oh, that's what they're going to do. So
they don't want any plays run by Miami. Well, now, wait a minute. 7 seconds. What are we going to do here?
Well, they take a timeout. Now they have 7 seconds remaining.
Are they going to try something special here?
Well,
on
you would
4th
think,
and 10?
yeah, you would think they'll go with like a Hail Mary type thing at the end of the half.
Yeah, Aaron Bailey. It almost worked against the Pittsburgh Steelers 2 years ago.
Or the other option is, you know, if you go with the field goal attempt, and then you use up all the time on the clock. Blanchard as setting up shop at the 49-yard line. Now he has missed from 43 and from 45. And this would be to tie the game at the half.
I can't believe it. Wait a minute. Now this is a 59-yarder. Come on. Wait a minute.
Why not?
Last year he made all
58 officially.
All 5 attempts. Well, this is asking a lot.
Yeah, he was 5 of 5 from over 50 last year. And it is not near enough. But that did use up all of the clock. It used up all of the clock. And so the effort failed, but time ran out. Didn't cost them anything. And we have gotten to halftime with Miami out in front of Indianapolis by 3 by a score of 10-7. In an interesting first half where Indianapolis controlled the time. Miami, though, has the lead. It's halftime as we go to New York. And Greg Gumbel.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now.
And welcome to those of you who have been watching Indianapolis and Miami. Greg Gumbel along with Joe Gibbs, Sam Weiss, Chris Collinsworth. Here are the scores and highlights as we have them for you now. We'll begin with the game in Foxborough, where the New England Patriots have been on a roll since the opening kickoff. They lead the Chargers by a 24-0 count. Prior to kickoff, the raising of the 97 AFC Challengers couldn't get it going. Henry Thomas comes in untouched on Stan Humphries. He recovers the fumble, led to a Patriots field goal and a 17-0 lead. Then late in the first half, Bledsoe again, this time 12 yards to Sam Gash. New England up by a score of 24-0. And if the change in coaches has affected anybody, I haven't seen it yet, Sam.
I think Drew Bledsoe has made the transition successfully. You know, in the last 6 quarters, New England has outplayed San Diego 69-7. And Drew Bledsoe threw 4 touchdowns a year ago, has already thrown 3 in the first half. Junior Seau has missed not only the field, but the leadership.
All right, Sam, in Pittsburgh, the Dallas Cowboys off to a good start against the Steelers, leading it by a score of 14-0. The obvious thing here, Cordell Stewart, no points on the board yet.
Yeah, and it really looks like the knee is still bothering Cordell Stewart. Without the mobility, he certainly is not the same quarterback. But they have been throwing the ball a lot in this first half, not relying on Jerome Bettis. A big surprise for me.
All right, the game that you folks are watching, Indianapolis and Miami, that game has now reached halftime with Miami leading it by a score of 10-7. The Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles at Giant Stadium. Giants lead it by a score of 7-3. That is a second quarter score. The Vikings in Buffalo against the Bills and leading it by a field goal. 10-7 is the score there. Oakland at Tennessee, and the Oilers are leading it by 10 as they approach halftime there. Jeff George making his first start at quarterback for the Raiders. George with the screen pass. It is a 10-0 score. Joe, what do you think?
Well, in the battle of the 2 quarterbacks, George and McNair, we were all interested in what's going to take place. And it looks like Eddie George is taking over for the Oilers instead. He's rushing the football, closing in on 100 yards in the first half. I think one of the other motivating factors here is that last year the Oilers were 2-6 at home, and I think they want to try and get that corrected.
All right, Joe. In Cincinnati, Arizona, and the Bengals, the Cardinals lead it by a score of 7-3. New Orleans and St. Louis, Dick Vermeil versus Mike Ditka, all tied up now at 14 apiece. The Saints got a 101-yard kickoff return from Eric Gulliford, and Atlanta at Detroit, it's a 10-7 Falcons lead on the Detroit Lions. Now, we promised you earlier in the day an update on the death of Princess Diana. Here's Brian Williams of NBC News.
Thank you, Greg, and good day from NBC News. The world is reacting with sadness after word of the death of arguably the most famous woman in the world. Diana, Princess of Wales, died last night in Paris in a violent high-speed collision inside an expressway tunnel. Her body has now arrived home in London. Her ex-husband, Prince Charles, flew to Paris to bring her home to a nation still in shock since the first overnight bulletins that there had been an accident. French police have over half a dozen tabloid photographers in custody. Manslaughter charges could be coming in the case. It's alleged they were chasing the Mercedes sedan carrying Diana and her companion, Dodi Al-Fayed. He was killed in the crash, so was the driver. A bodyguard did survive. In London, thousands flocked to Buckingham Palace while expressions of sorrow are coming in from around the world as the royal family makes plans to bury the woman they will remember as the mother of the future King of England. Princess Diana was 36 years old. Join us after the late game tonight for a special hour of Dateline NBC. I'm Brian Williams, NBC News, New York. For now, the NFL on NBC continues.
I say, Third Rock's doing the time change.
It's just a jump to Wednesday.
Then a step tonight.
Put your hands on your hips.
Clap on Wednesday night. Do the Third Rock jump. Moving drives us insane. Let's do the time change again.
We do this every year.
Yes, Third Rock is moving. This time to NBC Wednesday. What?
Joe, Speedy Messenger Service just hit a speed bump.
What do you mean? Business is great. Our phone's ringing off the hook.
That's exactly why our biggest account is leaving us.
What? I don't understand.
They said they've been having problems getting through to us.
I don't get it. If they couldn't get through, then how'd you find out?
I got a letter this morning. Delivered by their new messenger service.
Ameritech, your link to better communication.
I've been vending Coors Light for a long time. It's who I am. At home, it's, hey, beer man, pass the peas. When the mail comes, it says, hey, beer man, you may have won $10 million. Being the beer man's a wonderful thing. People know Frost Brewed Refreshment. They're always happy to see me, and I'm recognized wherever I go.
Hey, beer man.
Hey, bobbin head doll man. Coors Light! Coors Light!
Montel and Rosie move to Channel 13 WTHR, Monday, September 8th. This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. For hot and wow, call Domino's. Now,
Greg Gumbel back in our New York studio, along with Chris Collinsworth, Sam Weiss, and Joe Gibbs. The doubleheader game most of you will see at 4 o'clock Eastern Time is Kansas City at Denver. The Broncos were 13-3 last year, but their season ended shockingly with a home playoff loss to Jacksonville.
He has woken up in the middle of the night, every night this week, thinking about some different aspect of this game. So indeed, he is feeling the pressure.
Here we go in Denver, and the spirit is indeed mile high.
The Denver Bronco offense and team, all the great success this year. As you watch them, you can see the high confidence of Denver starting to show some concern.
We worked all year to get to the opportunity that we had today, and we didn't take advantage of it.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have upset Denver 30-27.
We're never going to forget it. I don't have to remind anybody about it because everybody realizes, especially the guys that were here last year, know how bad it hurt. So hopefully it woke some of the young guys up and realized that nothing's given to you in this league, and every time you step on that field, you're going against a team that can beat you.
I live with that day in and day out, realizing that I didn't play my best ball game. We ran into a team that played better than we did that day. Now, if we'd have played 2 or 3 games, can they beat us 2 out of 3? It didn't matter. They beat us 1 out of 1, and that's all that counts.
The Broncos were the AFC's best team during the 1996 regular season, and with some new additions, many believe they'll be even better this year.
You know, Mike Shanahan's done a great job improving us. He's a guy that is an aggressive guy. He hasn't sat still and rested on our laurels from last year. He went out and made us a better football team. You know, we've got a lot of maturity combined with a lot of youth and a great coaching staff. So, you know, I'm looking forward to another good year.
People get caught up with this team compared to that team. We haven't proven anything yet with this team. So we'll hopefully let our work and the way we play do the talking.
As far as talent, we might be better than what we were last year, but talent alone doesn't get it done.
It's that talent which makes this year's team an AFC Super Bowl favorite.
Predictions mean nothing, and you got to go out and make it happen. I mean, last year no one thought anything of us because we're coming off an 8-8 year. Now you come off a 13-3 year. Now all of a sudden you're back up to the top, and everybody's telling you how good you are and those type of things, but we also know that it's 1 week at a time, and we got to go out and prove it.
You've got to really concentrate on your work ethic and not really get kind of caught up to what people are saying. People are talking about Super Bowl, winning the AFC West, how great you are, and how great your players are, coaching staff. And you get caught up with that, usually you finish below 500.
We have expectations in ourselves. Our main goal is to win our division, and we'll let whatever happens after that happen after that. We're not going to go out there and realize that, we can't snap our fingers and make 13-3 happen again. But there's only a handful of teams that realize they can get to that next level. We're one of those teams that realize that.
John Elway says you don't have to remind anybody around here what happened last season, but there has to be, Joe, some sense of urgency in Denver.
Well, there does. You only get so many opportunities. So many things have to go together for a team to have an opportunity to go to a Super Bowl. You got to play great defense, special teams, and certainly have an offense. And one of the key ingredients we know is the quarterback. And to be quite truthful, Denver, hey, time's running out on John Elway. He can take them there, but there needs to be a sense of urgency, and they need to get it done right now. They passed up a big opportunity last year.
You can hear it in their voices, though, as the players are talking. They understand that they were that close, and they know how hard it is to get that close. It's starting all over again. Mike Shanahan's got a job here, too, because there was a lot of conversation about how he handled the close of last season. Now he's got to get focused, and one game at a time, starting all over.
On the other side of the football, what do you expect from Kansas City this year, Chris?
I don't know. This is a completely different football team and a completely different philosophy. They brought in Elvis Gerbach, Andre Rison, Brett Perriman, Ted Popson. Apparently they're going to try and throw the football. Is that Marty Schottenheimer football? Not really.
I'm glad I can ask you a question and get a good answer.
No problem.
Game 2 of the doubleheader at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. That comes your way. Most will see Kansas City at Denver. Others will get the Jets and Seahawks or the Jaguars and Ravens. Our NFL and NBC halftime coverage continues.
My name is Jenny, and I'm Jen's best friend, Maggie.
And I'll be playing Jen's dead father. I lose my life but keep my tan.
But before you watch Jenny, watch my show first, you'll love it madly. We call it men behaving badly. Watch me, I'm Jenny. After men, NBC me. Sunday nights.
Why do I come out here? Because the playing field's level, but the stairs never are. Because if I can't get frost-brewed Coors Light to the fans cold, those guys in the Rockies froze their butts for nothing. So I scale concrete every night. Because somewhere there's a guy eating peanuts or some nachos, and he's thinking of me. Coors Light! Coors Light!
Operation Football, Friday nights only on Eyewitness News. Dateline Sunday, Princess Diana and her companion killed.
Tonight's accident is a terrible tragedy.
They were driving in Paris with paparazzi in close pursuit. Are they to blame?
They're not proper photographers. They're not good photographers. The motivation is money there.
What evidence will an investigation uncover? The world mourns.
Dateline tonight
On NBC.
It is halftime here in Miami with the Dolphins out in front of the Indianapolis Colts by 3. The score is 10-7. I'm Charlie Jones with Bob Trumpy. A very interesting first half.
Yes, I didn't think Indianapolis could dominate this Miami defense as much as they did. It had 33 offensive plays to the Dolphins, 23. And then the interception return for a touchdown by Elijah Alexander off Dan Marino for the Colts. I mean, that's the momentum. The Colts are doing everything that I think they want to do. Defensively, the Dolphins are doing nothing that they want to do.
Right.
So that's the surprising part of the first half.
And that sets up the second half. All right, now let's take a look at the Coors Light halftime statistics.
You can see the time of possession, Charlie, almost 2-1. The one turnover or a touchdown. There was one key stat, I think, in the first half along with those numbers. The Colts are 3 for 7 on third down conversions. All 3 were by Jim Harbaugh.
Yes.
2 long runs and 1 dive for a yard.
And meanwhile, the second half is underway. Here's Charles Jordan on the return. A flag is down. 2 more flags are down. He is out to the 50 and inside the 40-yard line with 3 flags trailing him along the way. And it will go against the Dolphins. They'll bring it back 59 yards. That will not go into the record book.
Charlie, I was going to say, if 3 flags are down, where are the other 4? What are they doing?
I think they were trailing the play. In case something else happened, they didn't want to be without a flag.
Yeah, there's nothing that makes Jimmy Johnson matter. He starts every practice with special teams. Every single practice. That's how much he emphasizes.
Holding on number 44 of the return team. That penalty is refused. Holding on number 89 during the return. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards, first down.
Ed Perry, right? And so with the penalty, we'll take the ball back to the Miami 10-yard line. And the only time really that Miami had good field position to start a drive was following the interception for the return of and the touchdown by the Colts, and then the taking off of the helmet, celebration, and the 15-yard penalty, and the short kickoff, and that led to their touchdown. So this time they start from the 10. See what is there for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and another flag. We haven't had a lot of flags in the ball game that we could say in the first half, but all of a sudden we're a plethora in the second half. Tony McCoy with the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask, 69, offense, half the distance to the goal.
That's on Keith Sims, the left guard.
Yeah, the referee threw that flag, and it's very unusual to have a referee throw a flag on interior line play, but it must have been very obvious that Keith Sims got his hand right up in a defensive lineman's face. So now we're going to have bad field position made worse.
Jimmy is not happy. 3 flags against Indianapolis for 29 yards. There's 2 against Miami for 15. But of course that one was a lot more than that because it erased a big 59-yard return. Ball at the 5-yard line. And it's first down and 15 for Marino. He gives to the first back through, Stanley Pritchett. He's got about 3 yards out to the 8-yard line. And the possessions in the first half for Miami. Field goal, the interception that cost them. Then the touchdown, that was started at their own 45, so a 55-yard drive in 10 plays. And then the punt.
But you see 9-2, 10-3. That's time of possession. Jimmy Johnson wants a ball possession offense.
Second down and 11. The handoff to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out of the shotgun, and he is jacked at the line of scrimmage. They may give his momentum to the 10-yard line, but that's going to be it. And they'll be facing third down and 10. This is the original line of scrimmage. As Al Fontenot makes the tackle.
Yeah, they tried to run a little draw trap for him, but great pursuit by the Colts. 2 linebackers there, a defensive end. The one thing about the Miami Dolphins offensive line, they're not a push and shove, knock guys off the line of scrimmage kind of offensive line. They're pass protectors, so they got to come up with these little trick plays, traps, sweeps, special things like that.
Marino from the shotgun. And he throws incomplete. O.J. McDuffie, the intended receiver. Monty Montgomery had picked up the coverage. It'll be fourth down. Miami will be kicking, and the Colts could have very good field position.
Again, great pressure by the guys up front. You see the Colts fake the blitz. Now watch the little skip by Marino just to buy him some time. Boy, that is so beautiful to watch. He's done it throughout his career. Tried to make the completions to McDuffie, but couldn't.
Kidd is not punting. Now, this is Olindo Made. It's spelled M-A-R-E, but it's the Italian pronunciation. And he's punting.
He's the place kicker.
Yeah. And not a very good one. And a big mistake by Brian Stablon. He stayed away from it, and it took a big roll for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, we have some wrestling going on at about the 40-yard line. Everybody is pushed away 53 yards on the kick. It was about a 33-yard kick with a 20-yard roll.
No, it's a 53-yard kick to Made.
Back in a moment.
Chevy Venture gives you flip and fold seats, because you never know when a little extra room is going to come in handy. The all-new Chevy Venture is here. Let's go.
Last year, Americans bought over 4 million back massagers, thousands of vibrating chairs, and so many things that look like this and this that we wonder if some people aren't sleeping on the wrong mattress. We'd recommend a Sealy Posturepedic sleep system, slept on by more people than any other mattress, including more orthopedic surgeons. Posturepedic support, only from Sealy.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Venture. The Venture is here. Let's go. By Sealy, Posturepedic support, only from Sealy. By your Allstate agent for home, auto, life, and business insurance. Being in good hands is the only place to be. And by DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
John Kidd, a pulled right hamstring, and so he will not be punting, and that means it's all up to the field goal kicker. All right, Indianapolis from their own 37-yard line, first down. Trailing in the ball game by 3. Harbaugh a screen. Pass is complete to Zach Crockett. He's across the 40 out to the 43. Jason Taylor makes the tackle. Possessions in the first half for the Colts.
Now you see the numbers you like there is just the plays. 22 plays in the first 2 drives, and 7 and 6. And the defense scored. That's the only points they've got, but they are controlling this game to this point. They just need to, I think you can pretty much forget this missed field goal. From what you say it was 58 yards?
Meadows. Kip Vickers is now in left tackle.
Yeah, that was Meadows on the sideline with Ron Blackledge, the offensive line coach.
Second down. Harbaugh, a little swing into the left flat. This pulled down by Crockett. And he's got the first down. Watching the ball at the comparison of the 2 quarterbacks. Harbaugh 11 of 17. No interceptions, no touchdowns. Marino 6 of 12. No touchdowns. That 1 interception that cost them.
Yeah, that was the
touchdown.
That was the points. But Harbaugh also had the 2 scrambles on 3rd down that converted, kept drives alive. He's been a very efficient quarterback in the first half. Jim Harbaugh has.
Cliff Gross is now the fullback as the ticker comes up. New England leading San Diego now 31-0. Whoa. Marshall Faulk. And he is stopped by Tim Bowen.
Well, first half the Colts chose 2 tight ends as their formation. This is a 1 tight end set. And the Dolphins defensive line does an excellent job. There's no place for Faulk to run. Wooden and Bowens assist on the tackle for little or no gain. But it looks like you had 2 tight ends back in the ball game here. 2 tight ends, 2 wides, and 1 running back, Marshall Faulk.
And it's second down and 11. And it is Faulk. Not a lot there. He weaves his way literally to the 50-yard line. Anthony Harris makes the tackle.
Call that a sprint draw. You saw Harbaugh run back to the running back and hand him the ball. Marshall will take just a couple little slide steps to the left. Again, they're trying the draw. This Miami defensive line now, they try to get up the field.
What's the advantage of the draw?
You try to slow down pass rush and keep defensive linemen in their pass rush lanes.
3rd down and 8. And we have jumping on the right side. Tony Mandridge. Not underway before the ball was snapped, and that'll cost a quick 5.
Prior to the snap, false start offense, 78. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
They called it on Jari Glenn. I thought it was Mandarich.
I agree with you. I think it was. I think it was Tony Mandarich.
Yeah. Glenn now is 6'5", 346 pounds. I think you'd notice when he goes.
Yeah, the other thing is that weight is kind of a community number, you know, depending on who you talk to.
Nobody will say.
No.
Nobody will say.
But the kid played well.
He was fun to visit with. Yes,
he has played well
yes,
to this point, Charlie.
Yes, he has. Harbaugh being chased. This is when he's trouble. And a sliding grab. Did he get it? No. Boy, if Harbaugh gets out of the pocket, he can make interesting things happen. Aaron Bailey, the intended receiver, and it was Derek Rogers who was chasing him.
And Jim Harbaugh told me last year one of the things that Lindy and Fonte taught him was to scramble and still have the ability to throw. That is, scramble with your head up, because that'll keep the defensive backs back and give you a chance to run.
All right, fourth down. Chris Gardocki will be kicking. Charles Jordan is the return man. Pretty good kick. And it's fielded at the 7, out to the 15. Pretty good return underway near the 25-yard line. Charles Jordan. Cliff Gross makes the tackle. Gardocki comes up limping as we step aside for a moment.
NFL Sunday Ticket, only on DirecTV. We play up to 13 regular season games every Sunday. So what would you call somebody who only plays one? It's not on cable. It's not on any other mini-dish system. It's only on DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
People frown about all sorts of things. Sometimes it's about money. But one thing that won't cost you a lot is the Lumina from Chevrolet. Because Lumina offers you more standard safety features for the money than any other 6-passenger car in its class. In fact, at under $17,500, the Chevy Lumina is $2,000 less than Ford Taurus GL. For you, that's one less thing to worry about. So see your Chevy dealer for a Lumina today and give your face a rest. The cars more Americans trust.
Hey, Wayne, where'd you get the slick tailgate coffee table?
I made it, Tom. I welded some legs on an old tailgate.
Man, we should sell these babies. We could be millionaires.
Wayne and Tom do not need to play the Coca-Cola NFL Red Zone. They have no need for big screen TVs or free trips to Super Bowl 32. They invented Tailgate Coffee Table. You did not. So unless you have an idea as good as Tailgate Coffee Table, play the Coca-Cola NFL Red Zone.
Here's a program note. Dateline tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All of the latest details concerning the tragic death of Princess Diana turn into Dateline tonight. That is immediately following Game 2 of our doubleheader on most of these NBC stations. 9:26. That is the time remaining in the third quarter, and Miami has the ball at their own 24-yard line, and they have the lead. Interestingly enough, by a score of 10-7, and you have a feeling that Indianapolis has outplayed them, but Miami has outscored them. So let's see what Marino can get started from his own 24-yard line. And they start on the ground, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar slipping just a little bit. We've had some rain a couple of times, and we had skydivers at halftime, and they were all sliding on the grass, and I'm wondering if it's just a little slick today.
Actually, though, this is an excellent field for a little dampness. I mean, this is a very good field. Yeah, you're going to slip. So's the other guy. The thing that amazes me is that Jimmy Johnson, that persistence, you know, I'm staying with a run. We're going to try something else. I'm staying with the run.
I don't care if Marino is the quarterback. You're right. And Marino may have started too soon. I think he got underway before the ball was snapped.
Or the fullback Pritchett.
No.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense 61, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Well, it was Tim Ruddy, the center.
Oh, sure. Blame it on the
Blame it on the
offensive
center.
lineman. That's awful. Obviously, Ruddy right in the middle. Well,
I thought it was Marino.
Marino pushes his rear end, and that's what makes him move, and they go, oh, poor Tim.
Marino, a little play action fake, steps forward, a sliding grab. Nice reception by O.J. McDuffie. 17 yards. Jason Belser with the tackle. It'll be a first down. Nice play.
Again, the ability of Dan Marino, watch him just sidestep the pressure. Play action pass. He senses people coming from his right, just steps up a little bit to give himself room. Throws it between the two linebackers for a nice completion. Nothing to it. That's such a gift. He makes that look so easy. All the great quarterbacks make that look so easy.
First down, 38-yard line. And then back to the running game. Jabbar cannot get outside. They're going to lose a yard on the play. Quentin Coriat and Elijah Alexander make the stop as Harbaugh paces the sideline. I understand what Jimmy Johnson wants to do. And he obviously has all the Super Bowl rings. But when you've got Dan Marino, why don't you throw the ball more?
Well, his line is, I understand I have a Hall of Fame quarterback here, but he can't be a Hall of Fame quarterback every day. We need other ways to win, and running is my choice.
But I think today he needs to throw to win. High and wobbly. Not a good pass. Not a good pass. Incomplete.
I think it's safe to say here that the Dolphins offensively have not looked sharp.
You're right.
This is a simple out pattern run. Good footing by Barnett, and the pass was thrown just a little bit too early by Dan Marino. Those are not generally Dan Marino's numbers.
But if you've thrown only 14 times in the ballgame at this point, don't you get into a sink? Or, is it also like a running back that you have to run over the ball a lot?
Yeah, that's true.
And a throwing quarterback has to throw a lot. Colts showing blitz. They pull two out. One comes. He's on target to Fred Barnett.
Tough choice
Cedric
here.
Mathis.
Going to be fourth and a yard and a half or two. No, he's going to go ahead and punt. Again, that slant pattern, everyone that needs to recognizes the blitz. Barnett, a big receiver, and Marino throws it right on the money.
But when Marino does that, you have the feeling that he can just pick you apart. Just sit back here and pick you apart. Wow. All right, Olindo Made. And this is the field goal kicker, extra point kicker. He is punting because John Kidd has that pulled hamstring, and Brian Stabline is the return man. Remember, he let one get by him. Ooh, this is pretty good. Did he do it? Yes, he did it. He was airborne. Did not touch down. All right. 53 yards. Tim Jacob makes the play. He was in the air with the ball, flipped it back into the field of play, down at the 1 yard line. Look at this. Nice play. Back in a moment.
Right back after these messages. You've heard of Nike Air. Now there's Zoom Air, the thinnest, most responsive Nike Air cushioning ever, which means you run faster, just as Jerry Rice and Barry Sanders.
Zoom Air helps me to accelerate. Zoom Air helps me make sharper cuts.
So trying Nike football shoes with Zoom Air, who knows, maybe you can keep up with these guys.
Joe?
Used to be when folks drove out here to see Colorado, they sometimes took a taste of it home with them. A case or two of Coors beer in the trunk of their car. These days, we ship our beer cold from our breweries right to your town. If you think about it, it saves a little trunk space.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
We thought this would be a good time to show you how roomy and comfortable the Chevy full-size pickup is.
Like a rock,
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
like a rock.
Today on the NFL on NBC, Drew Bledsoe on Bill Parcells.
Bill was a dictator. It's Bill's way or the highway, and that's it.
Bill has turned him into a tough, feisty, determined leader, and Drew has no idea that Bill Parcells helped him get there.
Don't miss the NFL on NBC next Sunday at noon Eastern.
It was a field goal kicker punting, and Tim Jacobs airborne in the end zone that tipped it back into the field of play to Bernie Parmalee. And suddenly the Colts, they thought they'd have excellent field position. They come up starting at their own 1-yard line. That one play could change the whole complexion of the second half. Marshall Faulk has a yard, maybe two, and that is it. Baron Tanner, the rookie from Oklahoma, with the tackle.
See the numbers there for the Colts, and you can now understand better why Jimmy Johnson emphasizes special teams so much. You're absolutely right, Charlie. You give any defense 99 yards to defend, which the special teams have just done for Miami. The odds against your opponent's offense getting down there and scoring are remote at best.
Harbaugh from the end zone has pressure, steps away, has a man in the left flat. Pass is complete to the far side as he goes to Marcus Pollard, the tight end. And Derek Rogers makes the tackle. And Calvin Jackson is also there.
Boy, again, very respectable protection for Jim Harbaugh. He's, I think over the last week, he wasn't real convinced that the offensive line was going to be able to hold up. They've done an excellent job to this point, and he's gaining trust in them, which is what a coach and a quarterback want.
3rd down and 1. And Harbaugh has picked up 3 third downs, a couple on scrambles and a couple on a long scramble. One on a long scramble. So you look for the quarterback sneak. But they try Marshall Faulk. Fumble. The ball comes down. And the Dolphins have it. Sean Wooden. Number 22. Jacobs started it all with his play, and Wooden caps it with a fumble recovery.
Now, this is what the coach hopes for. It looks like who makes it? No, he runs into his own man. Marshall Faulk, not known really as a fumbling running back, but it just pops right out of his arms. It is raining here in Miami, and all set up by this play by Tim Jacobs to put the Colts in such a desperate hole.
Miami now at the Colt 15-yard line. And Reno hands off to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he is swarmed by that Colt defense, led by Steve Martin. The defensive line of the Colts, they've been using 8 players, and they said all 8 are starters. We're going to use them all about half the time. We're going to rotate them in and out. And there's Marshall Faulk, who lost possession of the ball with a collision with one of his own players.
Charlie, I think your point about the Colts defensive front, you're right. They are 8 deep. They're all strong. They're all going to get about 30 snaps a game, they hope.
Loss of a yard, 2nd down, 11. Reno incomplete. He looked deep. It was covered, and he came back to Irving Spikes. And in a way, that's a hard pass, isn't it? Because you're so keyed up and you want to drill it, and he's close, and you just kind of try and dump it off, and all kinds of bad things.
Yeah, it's the other half of the slant pattern we've seen to Fred Barnett. The outlet there is the fullback or running back out in the flat. And it was good coverage by Barnett, and he couldn't make the little completion.
Parmalee is in the backfield with Marino at the shotgun. Colts showing blitz. And they do blitz. A fade into the corner, and it's knocked away. Barnett, the intended receiver, and Carlton Gray was with him. And the Colts had pressure right up the middle. We'll take another look.
They brought a lot of people. It was picked up well by the offensive line. A desperation throw. Good coverage downfield. Not even close to a completion. And the Colts defense, they do their job.
They do, rising to the occasion. So mark the ball at the 24-yard line. A 34-yard field goal attempt. The defense saving Marshall Faulk, who came up with the fumble. And Blanchard now. Made off of the skin part of the infield, and he drills this one. Olindo Made, and remember, he started it as a punter, and he caps it with 3 points. 13-7 back in the middle.
It's the only one out there. And here it comes. The only compact pickup to offer a third door. Okay, folks. Show's over. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Oh, Eddie, I'm not doing so good. I don't have a clue what the coach is saying. I'm 0 for my last 14.
Johnny, you gotta loosen up. Have some fun. Make some friends over there. Play.
Hello?
Eddie, you won't believe this.
Some of us know it will be all right, even when bad things happen, because we have someone to help see us through it.
Darn thing came out of nowhere. I just missed it.
I know. What do we do? I mean, should we just leave?
They'll be fine. Now, keep your eyes peeled. Where there's one, there's usually more.
Being in good hands is the only place to be.
Your attention, please. Your attention. For y'all just here today or what? Let's go!
You're watching the NFL on NBC.
With 3 minutes and 47 seconds left in the third quarter, Miami is up 13-7. And Olindo Made will be kicking off to Aaron Bailey. This one is high and short, and Bailey's going to field it at the 14-yard line. And he returns near the 30-yard line. So the Colts start with pretty good field position. Gallant men have built must-see TV Sunday, bringing glory and laughter to America. Now one woman joins this valiant team, and all men say, "Oh!" Jenny McCarthy joins Men Behaving Badly. Now, that's not Bob Trumpy and me. On Sundays this fall on NBC. But we would welcome her, wouldn't we?
Yes, you tricked me with that American flag. I didn't know where this was going, Charlie.
I wasn't sure either. All right, Colts, first down at their own 30-yard line. Not a lot there for Marshall Faulk. A couple of yards, flag down. Holding against Indianapolis. That's costly. This is one of those games that you always have the feeling that here's a call.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
A penalty here, a mistake there. It's all going. That's going to determine the final outcome.
Yeah, here's Meadows right up here. The holding is on him. Again, that's rookie on rookie. He's got Jason Taylor. Yeah, just grabs him as Marshall Faulk cuts inside. The thing that has always worked, I think, in Miami's favor, especially this part of the season, is the heat and humidity down here. And Indianapolis has played very well, but they're starting to make those fatigue mistakes. Those the heat and humidity is getting to me. Penalties are a big indicator.
First down and 20. Nice play action fake, going deep, has a man into coverage, knocked away. Good defensive play. Whoa, Calvin Jackson. Marvin Harrison, the intended receiver, and Jackson played him perfectly.
Charlie, the hardest part about this is the defensive back sensing where the receiver is and finding the ball. and hitting the ball before he makes contact. Beautifully done. Ball underthrown. You can see that Marvin Harrison had to slow up a little bit, but Jackson was right there stride for stride with him to knock that ball away.
So it will be second down and 20, back of the 20-yard line. Still a lot of time remaining. 3:05 left to go in the third. Colts now with 3 wide receivers. Show the shotgun. And this one is incomplete at the 30-yard line. Dawkins, the intended receiver. Dwight Hollier breaks it up.
Colts were lucky to get that off. The play clock was at 0 when the ball was snapped. Dawkins not been much of a factor today. Zone coverage. Hollier just drifts out there, knocks the ball away. And of course, you know, second and 20, that's easy to defend for any defense.
Now third and 20.
That's much easier to defend.
And 6 in the secondary. Harbaugh throwing this one away. He had a Dolphin draped around his ankle. It was Trace Armstrong. And he overthrew Marshall Faulk, and he intended to do that. He just wanted to avoid any kind of a loss.
Armstrong gets on the guard this time, not the tackle, runs right over Tarek Glenn.
He does.
And running over 350 pounds is no easy feat. That was one of the all-time bull rushes I've ever seen right there by Trace Armstrong.
And he rushed to the ball, too, didn't he? All right, Chris Gardocki is going to punt to Charles Jordan. Dolphins could come up with good field position. Doesn't turn over, fair catch. Is taken at about the 41-yard line. So Miami will have the ball following that 40-yard kick with 2:43 left in the third. And the Dolphins have the lead.
Before releasing NFL Game Day 98, we asked Robert Brooks to check it out.
Do you like the graphics?
Graphics are tight.
Go to the house, to the house, to the house.
We like that, yes?
Touchdown!
All the way.
Come on, man. Hey, that don't show my breakaway speed.
Well, our numbers say that you lost a step.
What?
It's,
the numbers.
So I got off the elevator and said, what is this, the 7th inning stretch? American Express.
Lovely.
Let's do the whole country. I'm a little light on the lingo.
Get a full gander down the front with me.
All right.
We've got Cornish pasties, bangers and mash, bubbling sweet, and lovely toad meal.
That was a wicked googly. So I took the butchers up the apples and pears and said, what is this, the tea interval?
All over the world, you can do more with the American Express card.
Tiger Woods. Can he lead the U.S. to victory as the Americans try to recapture the Ryder Cup? The drama unfolds September 27th and 28th on NBC.
What does this cop show have in common with all the others coming this fall?
You're a fed.
Affirmative action. Nothing. Players coming NBC Fridays.
With 2:43 left to go in the third, Miami continues to lead Indianapolis. The margin is 6. The NFL's kickoff 97 weekend extends to the World Wide Web on NFL.com, the league's official website. Visit NFL.com for all of the scores and stats, including a complete roundup of this weekend's scores and action, plus chat live with some of the NFL's biggest stars. And are you going to chat live with them? Are you on that also?
I am not chatting live.
You're not chatting live. It's all on NFL.com.
There is a bunch of information there. Look, this surprises me. It seems like more rushes than passes, but evenly balanced to this point, 17-17. I guess the figure that jumps out, only 34 offensive plays by Miami to this point in the game.
And Irving Spikes gets the call from the 41 out to the 45. He's got 4. It'll be second down and 6. Quentin Coriat makes the tackle. Now for the Colts, they have Dan Footman, Bernard Whittington, Steve Martin, and Kendall Shello, and basically that's the second defensive line. So they are alternating all 8.
Yeah, that is the fresh bunch.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. Second down and 6. We're moving on the 2-minute mark, time remaining in the third. And the Dolphins lead at 13-7. And here's Irving Spikes. Spikes stopped by Steve Martin.
Jimmy wants to run the ball.
He likes to run it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He said, deep down, I want a power running team. 19 carries, 66 yards, 3.5 yards. That's not a very good average, but the 19 carries he likes. He said, look, I'm not here to win. I'm here to win championships, and you do that running the football.
3rd down and 3. Marino, quick drop. Pass is low, but it is caught. Now the officials say no, he trapped it. Well, there's going to be a small argument to take place. Damon Watts, the defender.
Again, this is that little slant run by Fred Barnett trying to beat the... I can't tell anything
Can't
from
tell
there.
from that one. Marino is going to argue it. There's our other angle.
Well, it does look like the ball hits the skinned infield here, but it's hard to tell. So
Marino not happy with himself. You can tell from that shot.
Yeah. When's the last time you were in a game where Dan Marino played to this point? He's only got 8 completions.
8 of 18, and you know, in reality, through 3 quarters. Mate will be punting. Ooh, that one almost got blocked. Sabline stays away from this one. Are they going to do it again? They'll be down at the 2-yard line.
Same guy.
Tim Jacobs. He's quickly becoming the player of the game, isn't he? A 50-yard kick.
The rule is a 10-yard line, you let it go, but the ball has bounced Miami's way twice here in the second half on those 2 punts.
Nice recovery by Jerry Wilson, who was trailing.
In practice, I'm telling you.
It doesn't go that way, does it?
Coaches hope it goes that way. It doesn't work that way. Certainly not twice in one game.
Well, San Diego is on the board, 31-7. Dallas out in front of Pittsburgh, 27-0. If we check out the ticker, that really is. The Giants leading Philadelphia 21-3. Minnesota 3 over Buffalo, 13-10. Tennessee leading Oakland now 13-7. Arizona up over Cincinnati 21-3. This is a straight shot at ball, comes loose, and Miami has it. And they're going to rule the ball dead. They're going to rule the play dead. Boy, that was close to disaster for the Colts.
That was 2 straight carries.
Woo, yeah.
And what happens again, a good job by the offensive line, just shoving the Miami Dolphins defensive line back.
Ooh,
he's down. He's on the ground. I think that's a good call. I don't know what these fans in the stadium see.
Oh, you see with your
there
heart.
it's loose. There it's loose.
Yeah, it came out.
Yeah. This world is not done in slow motion.
That's right. That's the key. That's the key right there. And Falk has the left corner. And he's going to be down shy of the 20-yard line. Marshall Falk pulled down by Corey Harris. And second half drive, the start, averaging the Colts at their own 17. Now remember, they've been at their 1 and their 3 and their 4. And Miami's 40. Boy, does that make a world of difference.
It makes a world of difference. But the Colts defense did a great job. They held Miami to just a field goal after that turnover. So that bad field position really hasn't hurt the Colts too much to this point.
Lamont Warren is now the running back. The give us to Zach Crockett. And he, on the fullback draw, is pushed back. Almost as if the Dolphins were waiting for that one. Led by the rookie, Jason Taylor. That's the end of the 3rd. Miami is up. Back in a moment.
Oh, my God, look at all this money.
Full House's Lori Loughlin has grown up, and she's taking down every bank in Chicago in the Line of Duty NBC tonight.
Joe, Speedy Messenger Service just hit a speed bump.
What do you mean? Business is great. Our phone's ringing off the hook.
That's exactly why our biggest account is leaving us.
What? I don't understand.
They said they've been having problems getting through to us.
I don't get it. If they couldn't get through, then how'd you find out?
I got a letter this morning. Delivered by their new messenger service.
Ameritech, your link to better communication.
2 sausage and egg biscuits for just $2. This has been a wake-up call from Hardee's. What will they think of next? Hardee's oven roast their beef daily, then slice it freshly in the restaurant. And now they're offering these delicious sandwiches at 2 for just $2. So it's hardly surprising they don't stick around long enough to be photographed. Hardee's, what will they think of next?
I believe in the power of the beer vendor. That one man with one beer born in the Rockies can refresh thousands. I believe in the perfect pour. Frost Brewing. Cold beer, warm heart. I believe that the 3 most important words on earth are hay, beer, man. That if a vendor can't get you your Coors Light at its ultimate refreshment level, it's a darn shame. And I believe in comfortable shoes.
Watch Entertainment Tonight beginning Monday, September 8th at 7:30 on Channel 13. This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Marshall Faulk has had a problem holding on to the ball recently, so it's got to be the gloves, so he changes gloves.
Sure. They don't allow Stickum or Pine Tar anymore, so he goes over and gets new gloves. We had to buy our own when we wore gloves. Now they got a guy assigned to gloves to give them to you. How many you want? What size?
2nd down and 13. The Colts at their own 15-yard line. Harbaugh sets up a terrible, wobbly pass that is picked off. He missed everybody. The ball comes loose. It's stripped. Miami still may recover at the 30-yard line.
Actually, Charlie, I think Lamont Warren of Indianapolis has the ball.
The officials are going to give it to Miami the other way. What a turn of events.
My goodness. Yes. Charlie, you said it right. Ball not thrown very well. Does he slip or is it tipped? I can't really tell. No, he's not really set. It's just an end-over-end. Wooden with the interception. And then somebody strips it from him, Dilger, and then the fight is on. Now, see, I thought Lamont Warren got it right there, number 21, but obviously the Miami Dolphin got it. And again, great field position for the Miami Dolphins, who's done little or nothing today.
And Sean Wooden, who had the interception earlier in the ballgame, had a fumble recovery. So he has a pair of turnovers. And Miami at the Colt 31-yard line.
There was just enough pressure on Harbaugh to make him throw that kind of funky.
That was a terrible pass.
Yeah, he didn't set himself. He sensed the pressure right behind him, and that's what caused it.
Defensively, the starting front 4 in the ballgame for the Colts. They show blitz. Marino sets up, throws underneath the coverage. Pass is completed about the 26-yard line to O.J. McDuffie, and he is decked immediately by Elijah Alexander. So spotted at the 25. Gain of 6, 2nd down and 4.
It's going to be interesting to see here. 4th quarter, just into the 4th quarter. They've run the ball with some success, but do you turn it over to Dan Marino here now?
Well, I think he has a lot more confidence, a lot more fun when he's throwing the ball.
Oh,
I think
sure.
it just shows in his body language.
Sure.
I think he gets bored with the other ball, with the other plan of attack. He won't be bored with this play, though. Irving Spikes will pick up the 1st down. 10 yards on the play. Damon Watts and Jason Bells are on the tackle just outside the 15-yard line.
And it's also just outside Keith Sims, just inside Richmond Webb, the 2 Pro Bowlers, although both went to the Pro Bowl as pass protectors, not run blockers. But maybe Larry Bechtel, the offensive line coach, kind of got up in these guys' faces and said, come on, you got to get it done the way offensive line coaches say it. Not quite with that.
Yeah. That amount of finesse.
Yes.
Marino to throw, has pressure, comes back over the middle, and the pass is complete to O.J. McDuffie.
Well, that was well picked up by Miami. You're going to see an awful lot of Colts threaten the line of scrimmage here, but they do a good job of picking them all up. And Marino's able to get that ball up. McDuffie in motion just to give himself a decent release, kind of lets everybody go by him. And then one thing about Marino, he knows where those outlets are.
Yeah. And Ellis Johnson comes up limping. There is Ellis. We talked to him yesterday. He said the playoffs, our goals are higher. But he also made the statement, he said, when it comes down to winning the ball game, it's who wants it in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where it's all about.
He also told us, too, it's the first time in his pro career he came out of camp healthy. So now he's limping.
You know, he was thrilled to be healthy, wasn't
Yeah.
he? He mentioned about 5 times. Second down and 4, 10-yard line. Back to the running attack, and it's Irving Spike. Tony Bennett with the tackle. So spotted at the 3-yard line, and it's going to be first down and goal to go.
Look at his quarterback rating at 96. 13 touchdowns, 1 interception, 64% complete, 228 yards, and we wondered whether they were going to run it or throw it. I'm sure Jimmy Johnson is aware of those numbers. He knows all the rest of the numbers about his football team.
Marino to throw. Throws this one away. Everybody was covered. He was out of time. That was first down and goal to go. So we'll go back now to second down and goal to go.
They had the fullback and the tight end out there in the flat, well covered by the Colts, and Marino knows not to make the mistake here. Don't take a chance. You got another down.
Miami in the red zone they're 3 for 3. Pair of field goals and a touchdown.
They were brilliant last season, too. Not just Marino, but the entire Miami Dolphins were brilliant in 1996.
Not there. Irving spikes. Airborne, but comes up short. It'll be third down and goal to go. About a yard and a half away.
Yeah, now I can tell you this right now. Jimmy Johnson's already made the decision as to whether or not he's going for it on fourth down. He's not worried about this third down call. He has already told his coaches, if we don't get the ball in the end zone, we're going for it on fourth down, or we're going to kick it on fourth down. That's how involved he is in everything going on out there.
Spikes and Pritchett, the running back. Spikes again, goes up, does not come down in the end zone. He is short. And he made the decision to go for the field goal attempt.
Yeah, he lost yardage on that.
Well, you play the numbers game here. You're leading by 6, and the field goal, and it's almost automatic here. We'll give you a margin of 9.
Sure, this is a no-brainer. This is not difficult to figure out. There's no question about that.
Mate is hit from the 24 and the 34. And this will be a 20-yard field goal attempt. And it is there. And the Dolphins now stretch their margin as they lead 16-7 with 10:45 left to go in the ballgame.
Dear Dave, when I saw Wendy's Smoky Bacon Cheeseburger was back, I said, that sounds good to me. So I got them for the whole firehouse. Some guys especially like the 3 strips of hickory smoked bacon, some the 2 slices of smoked cheddar and savory sauce, and we all agreed that we never had a hotter, juicier, more delicious bacon cheeseburger. Dave, come on by. We'll let you wear a big hat and ring the bell.
Dear Jerry, can I drive the truck?
Come into Wendy's and try our Smoky Bacon Cheeseburger today.
Hey, Wayne, where'd you get the slick tailgate go off your table?
I made it, Tom. I welded some legs on an old tailgate.
Man, we should sell these babies. We could be millionaires.
Wayne and Tom do not need to play the Coca-Cola NFL Red Zone. They have no need for big screen TVs or free trips to Super Bowl 32. They invented Tailgate Coffee Table. You did not. So unless you have an idea as good as Tailgate Coffee Table, play the Coca-Cola NFL Red Zone.
Did we rent with Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Did we rent with Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Did we rent with Hertz? Not exactly. Can't we skip the rental counter like at Hertz?
Can't we skip the rental counter?
No, not exactly. No. Isn't our car under a canopy like at Hertz?
Isn't our car under a canopy?
Isn't our car
Not exactly.
In rent-a-car, there's Hertz and there's not exactly. We can't repeat that too often. If you were the client, would you hire us?
Would you hire us?
If you were the client, would you? Exactly.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola. By Hertz. For business, for pleasure. nobody does it exactly like Hertz. And by Wendy's Smoky Bacon Cheeseburger with rich, smoky flavor in every bite.
10:45, that is the time remaining in the ball game. The Dolphins leading the Colts 16-7. The Colts only score coming on an interception return by Elijah Alexander, picking off a Dan Marino pass. And here is Aaron Bailey. He's going to run it out from 5 yards deep in the end zone. Normally that is not a good decision. This one turns out all right. He is outside the 25 to the 27-yard line. Here's a program note. Tonight on Dateline, all of the latest details concerning the tragic death of Princess Diana. And that is Dateline tonight, immediately following Game 2 of our doubleheader on most of these NBC stations. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. 10:33, time remaining for the Colts. They have to get something going offensively. They have been able to move the ball. They haven't been able to get into the end zone offensively. And Harbaugh comes out throwing. There's a flag on the play. Normally that is a holding call. The pass is complete along the near side to Sean Dawkins. Derek Rogers with the tackle, and we'll go back and check out the flags. One on each side of the line.
Defense, offside number 96. Penalties decline. Second down.
Danny Stubbs
lined up in the neutral zone, so the penalty is declined. Yeah, Charlie, the problem is when you're down 9 in the fourth quarter, you pretty much got to break away from your game plan. No more double tight ends. You got to try to get the ball down the field.
Second down and 2. And here is the first down for Marshall Faulk, and almost breaks it. Just a step away from scoring the touchdown.
And that's a good way to get it down the field. The more times you can get it in Marshall Faulk's hand. Excellent blocking over here. There is the hole. Good job by Mandridge on the inside. Good block by Tariq Glenn. And Sean Wooden just grabs a hold of anything he can and drags him down. Nice pickup.
At the Miami 43-yard line, first down. Faulk comes across in motion. Harbaugh, a little swing, and that is behind Zach Crockett. It is incomplete.
Crockett was a little late getting his head around, too.
Why is that such a hard pass to complete? I mean, we see it time and time again.
The main reason is that the quarterback is going 2 directions away from the the receiver is going 2 directions away from the quarterback. He's going out and up. Can you think of another pattern where the guy's going 2 directions at once away from the quarterback? That's why it's so difficult.
Second down and 10. Lamont Warren into that offensive set. Harbaugh to Crockett this time. He has it inside the 40, and he was just a step away from a big first down.
And that is a great tackle by Tim Jacobs, the guy who has been the special teams demon. He grabs a hold for anything he could possibly find, and he does a great job of just making Crockett trip. The Dolphins are covering all receivers downfield, so the running backs have been open all day. That is a great saving tackle by Tim Jacobs.
And that time Crockett was going only in one direction, so it was easier to catch.
Much easier.
Harbaugh from the shotgun. Almost intercepted. Terrell Buckley almost picked it off Marvin Harrison, the intended receiver.
And that is so unlike Jim Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh decided before he threw the ball where he was throwing it. There's no way in the world that you can try to get that ball to Marvin Harrison. But Jim Harbaugh normally very, very good at making the right choices. They are darn lucky that's not intercepted. Lindy's going to talk to him. You misread the defense. They rotated the other way. It should have gone to the other side.
So Chris Gardocki will be punting to Charles Jordan. And the Colts need a little of the Miami special team magic to rush on to rub off on them here.
Catch it?
And they do. Oh. And they do. It is caught at the 1 yard line. Derwin Gray has it. Special teams shine. Back in a moment.
Perfect for any game, Domino's has the perfect play. Choose from 3 delicious crusts. There's classic hand-tossed, crunchy thin crust, or go deep with thick ultimate deep dish. So make the call and have it all. Call now, and you can enjoy delicious Domino's pizza during the game. And why not add some of Domino's spicy buffalo wings or steaming hot breadsticks?
American Express Small Business Services. How can I help you?
How can I help you?
Right. We only work with small businesses.
Why don't we start with your cash flow?
And our equipment financing plan will help spread out the payments.
That'll definitely give you more flexibility.
How about setting up a line of credit?
We can do that.
Then I'll put you in touch with one of our CPAs so you can start getting ready for tax time.
That's not a problem.
We can always make adjustments when your situation changes.
Call to find out how American Express Small Business Services can help you do more.
In yet another torture test, we drained the oil from this car and added just this much Castrol Syntec. We then ran it over 100 miles per hour and waited and waited. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. And if a little Syntec can protect under these conditions, imagine what a full oil change can do. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't. And now, try Castrol Syntec Power System, a new kind of fuel system treatment.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now to enjoy a hot and delicious Domino's Pizza during the game. For hot and wow, call Domino's now.
This is Dan Marino's 198th start. Well, my memory of doing these ball games goes back to his first start in 1983. That was in the Orange Bowl. I was doing the ball game for NBC with Bob Greasy, and guess what? His first pass at his first start, it was intercepted. He was shaky in the first half, but interestingly, he came back the second half. He played like a 10-year veteran. He really did. They lost that game to Buffalo in overtime, but you knew then that he was going to be a superstar.
There's no question about that.
But I always remember that, his first pass as a starter. I asked him about it. He said, you don't have to bring that up. Oh, dumps this one incomplete. Also, you saw him a couple of weeks before the start, though, didn't you?
Yeah. This is the other part of his performance in that game, Charlie. Here he throws to Duper. We're going to see all the big receivers that Marino's had here. Duper gets one there. This one goes to Nat Moore. And then Mark Clayton catches one, too. Dan Marino threw 158 touchdown passes to those 3 receivers. And I'll tell you that Dan Marino story in just a minute.
And there are his stats on October the 9th, 1983, his first career start. He still has the arm, doesn't he?
Yep.
Whoa.
Tried to hit Abdul-Jabbar on the out and up. There was some contact. You know, going back to the memory of Dan Marino, about 3 weeks before then, I had him in a game against New Orleans, and he came in the second half replacing David Woodley and performed very well. I saw Shula then like 2 weeks later, and I said, Don, you look pretty smart about this kid Dan Marino. He said, actually, not really. He should have started the season as our starting quarterback, but we went to the Super Bowl the year before. I couldn't replace the Super Bowl quarterback, David Woodley, with Dan Marino. They'd have just thrown me out of the league. He said, but he should have been our starting quarterback from the opening game of the season.
Leading the NFL in almost every major passing category. This one is off target. Charles Jordan, the intended receiver. Monty Montgomery had picked him up.
Well, now they got a little bit of a problem with 3 misses right there. They don't have a lot of room here. The offense is backed up.
And remember
nothing.
Remember, John Kidd, the punter, is out with a pulled right hamstring. So it's all again, once again, Orlando Made, the way it's pronounced. Ed Perry is the snapper. And Frank Wainwright, who's the normal snapper, is out. Pretty good snap. And this is about what you're going to expect. And pretty good effort, though. You're right. You're right. 47 yards. So that's about as good as you can do under the circumstances. Colts with the ball in a moment.
It's fall. That means two things, football and projects. That's why we're having the True Value Kickoff Kick-In sale. We're kicking it off by kicking in savings throughout the store. So you can get all those projects done and still have time to enjoy the season. Pick up 4 packages of Duracell batteries for $288 or $237 each, and we'll kick in this full-size football free. True Value, official hardware store of the NFL and homes everywhere.
Your move? Hoodlum is filmmaking on a grand scale. Thrilling, an electric 3-prong attack. And Fishburne is fierce, magnetic, irresistible, says the Los Angeles Times. Get ready for your final thrill. Hoodlum, rated R, now playing.
Love the hat.
I need it. My head's a disaster. Look at my dandruff.
You just need the right shampoo.
With regular shampoo, flakes can keep coming back, but Head & Shoulders helps stop flakes before they even start, so your hair looks great. Change dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
Mike Ditka for 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, come on, ladies! Hey, get mad! Make believe I just insulted your mama. Or make believe I just traded you. Make believe I just called you collect without using 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, he could have saved us up to 44% with 1-800-COLLECT.
Stop, guys. I was only kidding. Stop.
1-800-COLLECT. Save up to 44%.
Coming up next, Game 2 of our season-opening NFL on NBC doubleheader. One of the NFL's fiercest rivalries is renewed. John Elway leads the Denver Broncos against Elvis Grbac and the Kansas City Chiefs. Or the Jets face the Seahawks. Or the Jaguars take on the Ravens. The NFL on NBC next.
8 minutes left to go in the ball game here in Miami. This is Charlie Jones and Bob Trumpy, and the Colts have a pretty good opportunity as they are down 16-7. Plenty of time left. They start with excellent field position at the Miami 45-yard line. Marshall Faulk is outside as a wide receiver. This is thrown up for grabs, and it is intercepted. And the Dolphins have the ball. Sean Wooden, his second interception to go with a fumble recovery. Terrible play by Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, just a hope shot.
Up for grabs.
Absolutely a hope shot. They flank out Marshall Faulk. Wooden, it's going to happen right in front of you. Here's the tight end that they're going to try to run the screen to. Wooden's got coverage on him. Bilger blocks. Look at it, just throws it up. There was good pressure up the middle by number 50, Hollier. Bilger doesn't even know that Wooden catches it. And Jim Harbaugh's second interception of the day. And Sean Wooden was just doing his job, and Jim Harbaugh made it easy for him.
And he has done his job well, though. And Miami starts at the Colt 45-yard line, first down. With the Dolphins up 16-7, Irving Spikes gets the call. Tony McCoy with the tackle. Now you expect to see him run as Jim. Remember what you said, and you used this earlier in the first half, that Jimmy Johnson likes to run in 3 instances.
Yeah, you want to run in short yardage.
Yep.
You want to run in games where you're ahead and you're protecting the lead.
And
you want to run inside the 20. Yep. So we've seen all 3 situations, and this is protecting the lead. You want to be able to run the football.
And use up the clock. So it is second down. .39-yard line. So it will be third down. You still continue to run here?
Absolutely.
No? New England way out in front of San Diego, 34-7, and we'd like to welcome those of you who have been switched over to join us here in Miami. The Miami Dolphins leading the Indianapolis Colts by a score of 16-7 with Bob Trumpy. I'm Charlie Jones. And Jim Harbaugh just served up an interception a couple of plays back that could serve to be very costly because they had pretty good field position. Marino now, a timing pattern down the sideline is underthrown. That was third down and 4, and it will be fourth down. So the Colts are going to get another opportunity.
Charlie, let's go back at the last interception, the play action play. This is the first interception. A very poor choice by Jim Harbaugh. Sean Wooden picks it off. It was an ill-advised throw by Jim Harbaugh, then the fumble eventually recovered by Miami. And then the last play, this is an attempted tight end screen. Just a lollipop up there, and Sean Wooden intercepts it. Miami can do nothing with it. They are lined up to go for it on fourth down here.
What about this? 4th down and 4, and they're going for it. And Marino to throw. He drills it. It is incomplete. And so even though the Dolphins are up 16-7, that margin being 9, Barnett, the intended receiver, and Carlton Gray had the coverage. And then the Colts will take over on downs. I'm surprised.
That is an interesting call by Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
3rd and 4. This slant pass has worked all day long, but thrown a little too low, and Barnett cannot make the catch.
Well, Visa Gold bought you the clubs and the clothes and 3 rounds at breathtaking Pebble Beach. The one thing it couldn't buy you was a single decent shot.
I quit! Finish without me.
I can't. Those were my clubs.
Fortunately, it had enough purchasing power for your next set of clubs.
Graphite.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
There's this college team I practice with. Each one is out to prove that they can hit the Rhine Express. After a day of fastballs, it's Advil for me.
On tough pain, 2 Advil work better than any 2 Tylenol.
I love that sound.
Advil just works better.
Hey, that's great. But who are the chefs?
Not going anywhere for a while?
Great googly moogly.
Grab a Snickers.
You spell it.
Yeah. I've been vending Coors Light for a long time. It's who I am. At home, it's, hey, beer man, pass the peas. When the mail comes, it says, hey, beer man, you may have won $10 million. Being the beer man's a wonderful thing. People know frost brewed refreshment. They're always happy to see me, and I'm recognized wherever I go.
Hey, beer man.
Hey, bobbin head doll man. Coors Light. Coors Light.
Who's hanging out at Union Square? How about Jack Pappas?
He skipped charm school and opted for prison.
Just because I was in jail doesn't make me a bad guy. And Gandhi was in jail.
Not for stealing cars.
Could somebody help me with my zipper?
Union Square, coming to NBC Thursdays after Friends.
6:17 left to go in the ball game. Indianapolis with 7 points. That came on Elijah Alexander. 43-yard interception return of a Dan Marino pass. That has been the only touchdown that they have. We've got flags on the play as Harbaugh goes down. And Jason Taylor may have gotten an early start. Jason Taylor, the rookie from Akron, who has really played well. He said it's a dream come true to start in this ball game.
Defense, offside, number 99, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You asked him who his hero was when he played in the backyard.
But he didn't have a hero.
He said because defensive players don't get publicity.
Yeah, they don't get publicity. Said he was more of a basketball fan than he was a football fan.
So bring the ball out to the 44-yard line. It's first down and 5.
I think you're going to hear a lot about this young man.
Yeah.
He weighs under 240. It looks like Art Still when he pass rushes. Remember the kid from Kansas City?
Yeah. A little bit of Fred Dreyer, that long, lean look. Yeah. First down and 5. Harbaugh steps away. And he is outside of the tackle, so he can do that. That's legal.
Absolutely. You see, Miami coach is complaining, but that's legal.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson is saying, get back, that's legal. Yeah. That's all right.
We do that ourselves.
Sure. If Marino can get out there, good coverage again. Harbaugh 3 times today has been flushed from the pocket and run for first down, but this is legal. This is the way the NFL now protects quarterbacks.
So it is second down and 5. The ball at the 44-yard line. Lamont Warren is in that offensive set. Harbaugh has pressure. Flag is down, and he goes down about a yard shy of the first down, but there was a flag thrown back at the 38-yard line. And you always suspect holding against the offense in that case, and that's what it will be.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
And that's on Tarek Glenn, the rookie taken the first round of the draft. And for those who have joined us, a larger audience across the country, you might want to talk about this young man.
Yeah, he only had 8 practices, played the second half of 1 preseason game against backup players in Seattle. And I think it's absolutely remarkable that he has played most of this game. Tim Bowens is 320 pounds. And for this young man who came out of college as an offensive tackle, this is just his 3rd year on offense. And to be literally in condition after 8 days of practice and play into the 4th quarter is beyond belief at 345 pounds. I bet he's not 345 now.
No, he's lost a few today. We had a chance to visit with him yesterday. He's only 21 years old. 6'5". We think he's around 346, but we got different answers from everybody. And his first name is Tarek, pronounced Tarek. He said, my mother wants you to pronounce it that way, and we said we'll be happy to.
Happy to. We may see him again.
He says it means strong black leader.
Well, I mean, among a lot of stories here, this is one of the great ones. To on 8 days practice, be out here and going 4 quarters in his first real professional football game.
Second down and 15. Harbaugh to throw, and he is sacked. Flag is down, and he is sacked by Jason Taylor.
And that's the other part of the story.
Yep.
Holding on the offense. The other rookie starter for the Colts is Adam Meadows at left tackle.
Offense, number 73. Penalty decline. 3rd down.
So Meadows held him. He still gets the sack. And here's the matchup right here. Well, you can see that Taylor just beat him right across the line of scrimmage. Meadows was late, didn't hear the snap count. That always happens to offensive tackles on the road. Look at that sprinter stance. Oh, he's by him. Absolutely by him. You can see Meadows does the right thing and grab a hold of him. But the sack counts.
3rd down and 23. 4-man rush. And Harbaugh is down. Danny Stubbs gets him.
Well, this is where this comes. He beats Mandarich this time. Harbaugh's he has no choice. He's got to go way down the field. Stubbs comes from the outside to get the sack, and the Miami Dolphins have won the 4th quarter. That's one of the things that Jimmy Johnson has insisted upon. 3 sacks, 1 deflection. Miami has won the 4th quarter to this point.
Chris Gardocki is kicking. Ooh, a good one. And here's Charles Jordan at the 28-yard line to the 30. And he tries to circle back, and the wagons close down on him, led by Scott Slutzker. Now let's check in with our game summary.
Marino, 10 of 26, 105 yards. Not a good day for Dan Marino at all. Looked sloppy, missed a lot of open receivers. Mate, special teams, we had 3 punts down inside the 3-yard line. He made all 3 field goals. John Kidd got hurt. He had to punt. Blanchard 0 for 3, the Pro Bowl place kicker for the Colts last year. I don't think that was makeable, but the 43 and 45-yarder were certainly makeable. So special teams have played a huge part in this game.
All right, Miami goes to work on their own 28-yard line, 1st down. Miami leading 16-7, and we have less than 4 minutes to go in the ball game as Irving Spice gets the call. And we'll check out the ticker. New England still 34-7 over San Diego. Dallas shutting out Pittsburgh 37-0.
That's a shock.
That is a shock. Giants leading Philadelphia 24-10. That's a shock to some people.
Absolutely, that's a shock too.
Minnesota up 33-13 over Buffalo.
Yeah, that's not a shock.
Oakland now leading Tennessee, coming from behind. They lead 14-13. Arizona up over Cincinnati 21-10.
I think that's a surprise.
That's a big shot. St. Louis 35, New Orleans 17. That's in the 4th quarter. Detroit leading Atlanta 14-10 in the 4th. And here the score is Miami 16 and Indianapolis 7. And don't forget to stay with us for the second half of the doubleheader. Most of you to see the game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. Second down and 9 at the 29-yard line.
not one of Jim Harbaugh's great performances. You know, the Colts have won 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Miami Dolphins. And Jim Harbaugh started out well, but second half, it's just kind of fallen apart here.
Irving spikes the ball carriers. Miami goes back to running the game, and the Colts start working on the clock. Now Tony Bennett with the tackle. That stops the clock at 3:45.
You know, I've not seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar here for a while. Spikes is kind of taken over in the second half. I see Abdul-Jabbar on the sideline. He's not being talked to by a doctor. He's walking around. He looks all right. He was their leading rusher. Those are not bad stats for his first game.
But it's very hot, very humid, you know, perhaps taking his toll. And the games that I was talking about next on most of these NBC stations, game 2 of our doubleheader. Most of you to see John Elway, the Denver Broncos, take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Some to see the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Baltimore Ravens, or the Seattle Seahawks taking on the New York Jets. So stay with us immediately following our telecast for the second half of the doubleheader. Here is the numbers on Irving Spikes: 13 carries for 38 yards.
And Jason Taylor has played in his first NFL game.
Yes, and he has played well, too.
Yes, he has, and played most of the snaps at that defensive end.
Played his collegiate ball at Akron. Not a lot of big stars come out of Akron in the NFL.
You're right.
But he may be one. He has that look about him, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Third down. The play will go to the 35-yard line, and it's Irving Spikes again. Now Fontenot making the tackle. And the Colts will take their last timeout. They stop the clock. I like the way that they use the clock. Now, they're going to get the ball back with 3:34 left.
I think there are a lot of coaches and a lot of teams who don't use this situation correctly. The defense can only stop the clock with the timeout. And if the offense can stop the clock with a drop pass, an incompletion anywhere, that's easy. So Indianapolis has done a great job here to at least leave its offense with some time, and I have a feeling that we're also going to have an attempt at a punt block because the field goal kickers lined up back there.
That's right. All right, now let's check in with Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Charlie, big doings in Memphis where the Oilers have come from behind on the strong legs of Eddie George. This is a 29-yard run, 30 carries, 204 yards today. He also ran for the 2-point conversion with 2:05 to play. The Oilers lead the Raiders 21-14. Charlie?
Earlier, and the Raiders really felt that their strength was going to be in their defensive front four. Now, if you run for more than 200 yards again, then it's not there. And they haven't, I mentioned this earlier, they haven't looked that good in preseason.
Raiders have said that for years.
That's true.
Their strength is going to be their defensive front four. You see how many tackles that Eddie George broke on that run?
Oh, yeah.
That kid is a Clydesdale.
Yeah, he is. All right, Brian Stabline is the return man. Orlando Made, the field goal kicker, is now the punter, with John Kidd as a pulled hamstring.
Now let's see if they go after this punt. No, they're going to block.
They're setting up a return now to the 30-yard line. Looking to the far side, nothing there. He who hesitates is tackled. Stabline brought down by Ed Perry. 5 yards on the return, a punt of 38 yards, about what we expected.
All right, clock 3:21.
Yep.
The Colts in a 2-minute drill.
No timeouts.
No timeouts. 2-minute drill.
They need a score, an onside kick, and another score.
Yep. There is no question that you go out in the 2-minute drill. And Justin is coming in. Something has happened to Jim Harbaugh. Paul Justin is coming in.
Justin now the quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts.
We have received no report from the Colts sideline as to what's wrong with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, we're working on that. Justin from the shotgun. And he drills it low. It'll be incomplete. Short hop. So it'll be second down and 10.
Paul Justin is a gutty kid. And I don't know what's wrong with Jim Harbaugh. What's he holding?
He looks like he's, you know.
See
looks
the
like
grimace?
he's in pain. Yeah.
You know, he had that pinched nerve in his neck from that hit in the playoff game against Pittsburgh. It just looks like he's in real discomfort. See the grimace on his face?
Throwing going very quickly. Pass is complete at the 35-yard line to Sean Dawkins. Sean Wooden makes the tackle. Clock moving. 3:03 and counting, and no timeouts remaining for the Colts.
Yeah, now this is where the microphone to the quarterback has really helped.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the coach on the sideline can just send him to play in his helmet. He can pass along to his teammates.
And it is low. Are they going to rule it caught? They are going to rule it caught. It was very close to being tramped. Aaron Bailey pulls it in. Here is the end of the play.
Breaks inside, kind of floats the break on the vet. Yeah, I think that was a good catch. Justin is a young man with a very strong arm. 21 yards on that completion.
At the Miami 45-yard line. Boy, he's on target again. Inside the 30 to the 25-yard line. This is Brian Stabline. And all of a sudden, the Colts are cranking it up, and here they come.
Yeah, and of course, the Miami defense, their mindset is prevent. Don't let anybody behind us. The clock is our friend here. We'll let them make the catches. That's all right.
One more play before the 2-minute warning. Right flat. It is there, and out of bounds is Marshall Faulk, as we now have 1:56 officially left to go in the ball game, and the Colts are on the move. Stay with us. We'll be back in Miami in just a moment.
These days, we could all use more endurance. Say about 24 hours worth. I know I could. And now I've got it. Because now the Odor Fighter's new high-endurance deodorant lasts even longer. New high endurance lasts a full 24 hours. No one else is this strong, this long. Plus, it's got this new Pure Sports scent. So now you can smell better, longer. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. Hey, no matter what you're into, now you've got all the endurance you need. A full 24 hours. Guaranteed.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me.
I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Times Square.
Ford Explorer. It's at home, anywhere.
Come on, man. It's time. These are the cons who got out of jail to help the police in pulling a sting by wearing a dress and going undercover while racing a train to catch the bad guys so they can do it all again. With me so far?
Think we lost him?
Good.
You had to wear red. You try to find yourself being a size 16, okay?
Players coming to NBC Fridays this fall.
1:56. That is the time remaining in the game. The starting quarterback, Jim Harbaugh, is on the sideline. Paul Justin has replaced him, and you have the reason.
Yeah, no injury. He has been pulled. He has been pulled because of the bad decisions he made. We showed just as we got the other audience, the two very poor choices that resulted in interceptions. Lindy Infante is not afraid to pull the trigger. He has great faith in Paul Justin with the strength of the arm. And Jim Harbaugh, who is without question the leader of this football team, is on the bench. As poor choices will do it every time.
Justin in this drive, 4 of 5, 46 yards. Miami leads 16-7. This pass is complete. Are they going to rule it complete, hit and fumble, or are they going to rule it incomplete? And we away. They have not made a decision.
Wait a minute. One official comes in and says no catch.
Yeah.
No catch, and he is right. You got to wait for that second foot to get down.
But he's got to make the call sooner. Here it is.
Going to be a crossing pattern, and the rule is, of course, you have to have control of the ball, second foot down. 1, 2. That was an awful big hit.
Meanwhile, a player is down back at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Corey Harris made the hit, knocked the ball loose. We have a Dolphin down. You're right.
Danny Stubbs, is that who it is? Yes.
He's just coming off a broken fibula.
All right, now let's go back to Harbaugh. You said that he's still the leader, but does this take away from his leadership?
I
mean, let's just say
leadership, no.
Let's just say that Justin pulls this one out.
No, it does not take away from his leadership.
Quarterback controversy?
No. What it tells Jim Harbaugh is no one is safe here. You got to make the right choices. Even you, Captain Comeback 2 years ago, Captain Courageous last year, you have to make the right choices. Jim Harbaugh was very vocal about a couple of players that weren't playing. Trev Alberts was one. Troy Auzim was another. he stated his mind. I asked Lindy last night, do you mind him talking? He said, I don't encourage it. I don't discourage it. But a lot of people make mistakes. And I don't think this does anything to the prestige or the position of Jim Harbaugh on this football team. It certainly puts a dent in his ego.
And these are the interceptions, 2 bad decisions.
Yeah, you can see how bad they are. He gets pressure. There's no question about that. This is a very poor choice. Trying to get it to Lamont Warren, just kind of shot puts it out there, picked off by Sean Wooden. And then this is not like Jim Harbaugh at all. They're trying to set up a tight end screen. And Sean Wooden standing there, you can see the whole thing better than the tight end makes the interception. And this is too competitive a league to just give the ball to your opponent twice like that, and that's what Jim Harbaugh did.
All right, we're set to go again. 3rd down and 7. Minute 47 left. Colts trailing 16-7. Oh, he drills it. He's got a good arm. 20-yard line pass is complete. And Sean Dawkins breaks the tackle, picks up the first down, and we've got a flag coming in late.
Now, if that's on Miami, there ought to be another 15 yards for stupidity. I don't care what the penalty is.
Anthony Harris was there for the Miami Dolphins. 1:36. The penalty stops the clock.
Was that Dawkins slamming the ball down?
The player was already down, so the ball was dead. There was not an illegal bat. There is no foul on the play.
Oh. Okay, Jimmy was wondering, what is going on?
Well, we were all listening in. Yeah. Now he wants to wind the clock is what he wants him to do.
And he should.
Yeah, still 1:36. They haven't wound the clock yet. Now it's going. All right, here we go from the shotgun. And the sack at the 30-yard line. Now the sack will stop the clock momentarily. Justin brought down by Tim Bowen. And that is crucial for Miami.
Justin not quite as agile as Jim Harbaugh. A loss of 16 yards on the play. And big Tim Bowens comes up with the sack. You don't want to make a mistake of a turnover, but Paul Justin could have just thrown that thing away.
And now the clock moving again. 1:15. High snap pulled in. Pass is complete. This is Marshall Falk. Falk to the sideline. That was 2nd down. Well, now it says 3rd down on the scoreboard. The markers on the sideline say 2nd down. And it's a gain of 11 on the play.
Maybe more importantly, let's answer this question. Who starts next week for the Indianapolis Colts? Jim Harbaugh.
And the Colts will host New England, who are destroying San Diego today. So they got 2 very, very tough openers, one on the road, one at home.
And if Jim Harbaugh is healthy, he's the starter next week.
Miami will host Tennessee. Now all markers show 3rd down. And it's knocked away, incomplete. It will be 4th down and 14 with 1:04. So you'll go with a field goal attempt. You need 9 points.
Right.
You're trailing by 9. You need 10 to win. 11th play of the drive. You get the field goal here. Either way, you got to have an onside kick.
There's some football left here.
Oh, yeah. Blanchard now is 0 for 3. He's missed from the 43 yards, 45 yards, and from 58 yards. This is from the 26. An attempt at 36 yards.
Hey, this is a young man who missed just 4 times all of last season. 36 of 40 field goals.
And this one is bending left, but it is good. It is through the uprights from 36 yards away. And the Colts have climbed within 6 of the Miami Dolphins. And we have an onside kick upcoming with a minute left in the ball game. And don't forget to stay with us for the second half of the doubleheader today. Most of you to see the ball game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. Many of you will see the New York-Seattle game, and others see Jacksonville at Baltimore. Now the strategy.
Well, it's pretty simple. The hands team for Miami is receivers, running backs, tight ends. You get a couple of guys up there with some big bodies. The idea, what the Colts want to do is make sure the ball is knocked into the ground so it can't be fair caught. Hank Coleman, the special teams coach of the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know what the percentage of recovery is on these, but generally you get guys who are a little too anxious. Up front, I see some experience there for the Miami Dolphins on the hands team. Fred Barnett, O.J. McDuffie. You know, some guys who have been up there before.
And remember, from the Colts standpoint, the ball has to travel 10 yards for them to recover it, or they can recover it less than 10 yards if it has been touched by a Miami player.
Now, let's see, there's 7 guys on the far side, 2
They're
guys on the near side, and the 2 kickers in the middle.
Yeah, they're overloading. And it's Gardocki. They had both kickers out. It is there, but it is recovered by Miami. It's still a scramble for it, or is it? And the Colts say they have it at the bottom of the pile, and the officials say they do. And Miami was all over it. How in the world did that get away?
It looked to me like Robert Blackman was the first guy who had a chance at it.
And so the Colts are going to have that final opportunity. We'll take another look. Notice 2 kickers. You don't know which way they're going. There's the fake. There's this one.
Is it Blackman? 25, yes. Blackman somehow cannot come up with that ball.
Ray McElroy is the man who is credited with recovering it at the bottom.
Well, the Dolphins will be practicing that all next week.
All right, here we go with 56 seconds left. The Colts down by 6 at the 50-yard line. Paul Justin, the quarterback. He throws, and it is incomplete. Oh, he got away with one. Had pressure and might have been intercepted.
Yeah, pressure from Jason Taylor again. 99. He got around Kip Vickers, 71. Here you're going to see again that great first step. He's by Vickers already. They could have ball holding, but that flushed Paul Justin out of the pocket, hurried the attempt. The young man's had a big effect on this football game.
51 seconds, time remaining in the game. Colts are out of timeout. 4 wide receivers. Justin throws. It is caught. No, incomplete. They say he was juggling it.
Charlie, I think he hung onto the football, Sean Dawkins, but his foot hit the sideline before he could gain control. Again, you see the arm strength of Justin. Boy, if he catches it cleanly, it's a catch. Yeah, that's what happens. His foot is on the sideline. When he finally gains control, no catch, good call.
So it's 3rd down and 10. You know, there's one other possibility if they don't score a touchdown. Kick a field goal, another onside kick.
It worked the last time.
That's right. Comes out firing. He's got the first down. And he hits Brian Stabline, who is inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. 15 yards on the play. Now you can spike it here to stop the clock. Or you can continue on. 27 seconds and counting. Let's play on. There's the sack. Ball comes out. They may rule it down. They haven't pointed it yet. One official is going to say yes, that it was down, that it is not a fumble.
But, Charlie, I must tell you, one official threw his beanbag, which indicates change of possession. You saw him just pick it up right there. Right. And the other official says, are they going to have a conference? No.
No, they're going to mark it and go. And remember, it's a sack, so the clock is stopped with 18 seconds until now they wind the clock. There's pressure. Down the middle, pass is complete to Aaron Bailey. And now at the 25-yard line, 5 seconds. They're just simply running out of time. There's not going to be enough time for the Colts.
Whoa. They're going to get one more play. They're going to get one more play. I believe this is going to be a flag on the defense.
For not getting back in time?
The game can't end on a flag on the defense. But the guy on the sideline, the head lineman, saying no more time, no more time. I think the game's over.
I do too.
The offensive line was not set prior to the snap. Therefore, it's a false start. The game is over.
All right, let's take one more look at the end of this game.
There's no question that there were defensive linemen that were not set. Justin's trying to get the team to the line of scrimmage. He's watching the clock. The line does have to be set for a second, no question. He was moving, even though the defensive line was was not set on the right side of the ball. Therefore, flag on the offense. Game over.
The final score, the Miami Dolphins 16, the Indianapolis Colts 10. Oh, what a great way to start the season. For Bob Trumpy, I'm Charlie Jones. Stay with us for the second half of the doubleheader. This is the NFL on NBC, home of the Super Bowl.